Hit that like button on the way in. I'm right with ya. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Blonde Politics. I'm Boston Brian. I really do appreciate you joining me. Please make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Very important that you do so. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 20,000 subscribers here at Blonde Politics, and it is all because of the work and the respect and the fight and the heart that you guys show in the chat there. The world's best chat. What do you say we bring you guys in for a little hello before we get into some of the stuff we'll be covering today? How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Are we feeling good? Are we feeling scared? Are we feeling nervous? I think all of the above would be okay and probably justified in what you're feeling. What's up, Kyle? What's up, buddy? What's up, Greg? What's up, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram? Please make sure you hit the respective buttons out there, whether it's a thumbs up or a like or a bits or a coin or something. It's got to be something. So hit something. That's all I ask of you. What's up, Linda? How are you? What's up, Yakov? What's up, Evie's aunt? How are you? What's going on? Dyslexic Fingers. What a name. What's going on? I appreciate you being here. What's up, Flipper? What's up, Dame? Thanos, how are you? What's going on? I'm scared drinking beer. Well, you know, sometimes the two don't go hand in hand, and sometimes they go hand in hand quite nicely. So Thanos, hang in there, buddy. Stay strong, and hopefully we get this stuff figured out. I appreciate you being here nonetheless. Thank you so much. Who else is here? Thank you, Jen. Hope your knee's okay. Damn skiing accident. Luckily, you didn't turn into a Kennedy. Peter, what's going on, brother? Go Patriots. Appreciate you. What's up, Laurie? What's up, Jen? What's up, Evie's aunt? All right, all you guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much once again for joining me. Once again, thank you to the mods. You guys are fantastic, each and every one of you. I can't thank you and appreciate you guys enough. But let's dive into a couple of the topics we'll be talking about today, if you don't mind. Let me see if I can just toss this back off the screen. Where are you? There you are. Where are you? Where'd it go? Oh, there you go. All right. Appreciate you guys. All right. Let's throw these first couple things. You know, Donald Trump was falling asleep once again at his little meeting, this time for milk. It's just pretty ironic that he's talking about something that supposedly does a body strong, right? Does a body well. But in this case, it put Donald Trump to sleep, something that Donald Trump clearly doesn't drink himself. But we'll take a look at this, obviously, and then we'll be diving into a few videos, taking a look at the ongoing protests, the ongoing frustration around the country. Mercado Media was back out there. I know Status Coup and Midas Touch have had a few good videos as well. So Status Coup, I think, recently just put one out a few hours ago. I think Midas Touch and Ben Meiselas did kind of like a recap on some of the instances as well. So we'll be kind of going over and looking at some of those things. And then in one of the wildest moments that I have ever seen, right? And this might be slightly off topic, and somehow we both have Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian as part of the show tonight in two separate segments. Don't ask me how that happened, but it did happen on this evening's show. But this is going to be Ana Kasparian, and I don't know if you've seen any clips of this, but she goes against, this political podcast or this political fucking YouTube or whatever you want to call her, called Just Pearly Things. And she's like this 6'1" redheaded girl, and her shtick is basically just shitting on women all the time and just talking about how great men are and how men don't need women, and women, shouldn't be wearing skanky outfits, like that type of fucking, conservative Republican commentator. And she went up against Ana Kasparian, and I've never seen anything like this, folks. And we'll be diving into Jew Almighty. Shout out to Jew Almighty on YouTube here. He had a good breakdown of this, so we'll be using his video to kind of break it down. And I've never seen anything like it. She quite literally freezes in multiple aspects at multiple moments in this. She doesn't know a goddamn thing of what she's talking about, and she has a very specific and very focused particular set of stuff that she covers, right? The hate women shit. So you would think that she knows this stuff from covering this singular topic, and she would have it off the top of her dome, and she wouldn't have to have repeat that. We'll go over it. It's amazing to see. Again, I've never seen anything like this in political debates, really. I've seen shit performances in political debates. I've seen people kind of gish gallop, you know what I mean? I've seen them lie and propagandize and just kind of bullshit their way through it, but nothing to this extent. We'll also be talking about Nick Shirley, the asshole that supposedly broke the fraud story in Minnesota, but did anything but. He was on with Channel 5 News, and there's a couple clips that I want to show you just to kind of reiterate just how stupid the kid is, and like the people that are following this kid as like a journalist and like a reporter now, who doesn't even know the English language to a point where he'd be able to write a coherent fucking article or put together a coherent documentary like, what we saw. So Kyle Kalinske has a good one breaking that down. I also want to talk about this because a lot of people are trying to give, I don't know, Joe Rogan some like false praise. He in like a 2.5 hour sit down with Rand Paul had about 13 seconds in which he kind of almost made sense. But if you listen to it in the whole context, it's actually not even his position. Right. I mean, some of it is and some of it isn't. And then he's trying to put it on the left and that's what they want. So I kind of want to break it down if I can, just a little longer of a clip than probably what you've been seeing as far as like just the Gestapo talk and people snatching people up on streets. Like it goes a little deeper than that. So I want to dive into that as well. What else we got? We got unfortunately, I'm going to have to take a shot at the I've Had It ladies. We've had a good run here. You guys were kind enough in the chat to introduce me to Jen and Pumps. We've had, a run here and watching them rise ever since. We've done a lot of digging into their content and applauding some of the stuff that they've been saying, a lot of the stuff that they've been saying. But I got to give them a little call out on this one. I got to, and it's nothing serious or anything like that, but to have a video put out and to be so tone deaf, right? And so, I don't know, like not in what's going on in YouTube and not understanding what's happening on like the progressive media sphere to a certain degree, but to have a video named Billionaire Ass Kissers and then to have Cenk Uygur on as like a serious guest, Mr. Peter Thiel, Mr. fucking Polymarket Studios, Mr. Anti-union and anti-fucking labor and anti-like committees within TYT, firing fucking Francesca Fiorentini. I mean, any number of the people that used to work at TYT that have left there and said bad things about the way that Cenk treats his employees. But we're really going to put out a video titled Billionaire Ass Kisses and then bring Cenk Uygur on from TYT as like somebody that should be speaking and not like you should be ramming his ass into the wall. They kind of give it to him a little about his like affiliation with Marjorie Taylor Greene. So, props to them on that as far as that's concerned. But to not know about his dealings with Polymarket and Peter Thiel and, the rest of his anti-union bullshit that he's been through. I know Winners and Losers, Hank from Winners and Losers on YouTube has a great documentary, a great film on the background and the insights into Cenk Uygur and everything and the dealings between him and, TYT and the union unionization trying to happen over there. So we'll be diving into that. Just a little bit of call out on that one. Nothing too serious, as I say. So I don't want to get you too riled up. And then we'll also be talking about this because apparently Russian soldiers are disappearing in Ukraine at a rapid rate. So I wanted to dive into that as well. So lots to get to, lots to talk about. I really do appreciate you guys. What do you say we watch Donald Trump fall asleep for a second here? You don't have to watch much, but take a look at this clip. And I just want you to recognize that his eyes are fully closed, or at least he's looking down at his shoes. I know some people have kind of speculated that he like looks down at the desk. I don't give a shit what he's doing. As president of the United States, to honestly be sitting in front of a crowd this big and having people like directly speaking to you and your eyes are quite literally closed more than they're opened, that's a fucking problem. Like that's an issue. I don't know if you're looking at your feet, your shoes, the desk, your tie, your belly, you're still trying to find your dick. I don't know what's going on, but it's a problem. But check out, and this like, I don't know, it's probably like a minute and a half clip. Just his eyes are closed for a longer period of time than they're open. Or at least he's distracted and not focused, and it looks like they're closed for a longer period of time than they're open. Check this out.
In the last year, your support for these American farmers, for rural America.
First of all, I don't know what that was. That was almost like a head bob to like, okay, let me see if I can stay awake during this now. Cause I kind of feel that the eye shut going. You see how he's already got the eyebrows raised. Remember how we were talking about that on the show the other day? I'm sure it happens to all of us at some point, right? Like, during the middle of the day, you kind of get that like tired feeling, but you're at work or you drop, whatever it may be. And you do the whole, let me raise my eyebrows just a little bit to make it seem like I'm a little bit more awake. Let me open my eyes a little bit. Or if the doobie was just a little too big, or the deal of that day, the weed was just a little bit too strong, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? And you want to seem like your eyes are a little bit more open. You do this, right? You do this like stretch of your eyebrows, trying to, okay, let me do it. They're like 300 pounds, but I'm gonna try anyway. But check it out. It gets
Big beautiful bill was the largest investment in rural America in history.
Is he looking down or is he sleeping? Like, are his eyes fully closed there, or are we supposed to believe like she doesn't even know at this point? She's looking down at him like, am I tapping him? Like, do I give him a tap on the cheek here? What are you looking at, sir? Are you looking at me? Are you listening to me? Hello, sir? Like, I feel like she's about to snap in his face.
I think that's important to note.
Yep.
The trade, and I see my friend Jameson Greer over there and Howard Lutnick on this end.
Okay, so again, eyes open or eyes closed? Chat. What are we looking at here? What are we looking at here? Are we looking at eyes open or eyes closed from the president?
We've opened up more than
they're open, they're closed.
4 different markets.
Oh, look at him. I mean, he's just got that, even the look when he does open his eyes is like the look of, I just woke the fuck up, right? Like we always bring it back to the turtle in Finding Nemo, right? And I feel bad. I'm not even going to use the name because I feel bad even referencing that because he's a cool turtle and I don't want to put him in this category, but it just looks like that every time he opens his eyes. He's like, where am I again? Why are these young girls next to me? Jesus, who's dumb enough to keep these young girls that close to me? Don't they know about the Epstein files? Like, that seems like what's going on in his eyes every time he opens them.
Dairy exports are up 20.
He's like, who are you, lady? You're speaking? Watch him look up at this lady.
24 different markets. Milk exports, dairy exports are up 20.
Oh, you're speaking?
3% just in the last year. And when you think about
are his eyes open or closed?
Ag deficit that happened under Joe
He's not focused, clearly not focused.
Biden, and the 4 years we went from a surplus.
Now they're closed. Okay, fully closed. There's no way for you to tell me that they're not fully closed. Again, longer closed than they spend open.
Agriculture products when we left the first time to a 50.
She had to tap him. Did you see that? She quite literally had to tap him on the back. I don't know if she she's like, okay, stick with me there, Gramps. Come on. I'm almost done. I got about 3 more lines and I'm done.
Last year, and when you think about
watch her hit him on the back.
Ag deficit that happened under Joe Biden and the 4 years we went from a surplus of agriculture products when we left the first time.
Come on, Gramps. I'm almost done. Keep your eyes open. Cameras are on you, buddy. There's lights here. We got kids here. There's people behind you. Please don't keep your eyes closed. It's really embarrassing, and it's disrespectful as I'm speaking to you from about 1.5 feet away.
To a $50 billion deficit.
He's up. I mean, what is happening? You can't convince me he's like in any way listening, coherent. Again, what is happening?
Agriculture products when we left the first time to a $50 billion deficit when we came back. Yep. So these are.
Yep, that's right. Yep. What'd you say? Have you ever seen? I don't know if you guys have Instagram or how many of you guys use Instagram, but my Instagram followers and Instagram viewers right now, whoever's watching over there, if there's anybody, like there's this, and I'm pretty sure he's on YouTube too, but I can't remember the guy's name, but he always does this, like, when you first wake up and somebody's trying to talk to you and it doesn't seem like they're making sense. He just comes up with like the most random things, and he's obviously acting it out as a skit, but it's like when you first wake up and you're trying to like focus and you can't, somebody's talking to you and it sounds like the craziest shit you've ever heard because you're not awake yet. Like that's what Donald Trump just like popped. Yep. Green, yellow, blue. What's happening? Milk, 2%. He's like, what? Everybody's like, what the fuck was that?
Massive wins for America, and I think it's important to note that. I also want to note, and you said it as well.
What's he looking? He's out. He's gone.
That over a decade ago, Michelle
Obama, he's back.
In this very room, made an announcement on a short-sighted campaign to ditch the whole milk in schools, and that's what we're working to fix today.
I mean, am I wrong or am I right? Am I being like, am I picking him apart by being like, hey, maybe the president should have his eyes open more than they're closed? It's just a suggestion. I don't know. Maybe just optically speaking, it's just a good representation, not having your president looking like he's sleeping, even if you don't think he is. But I mean, he's quite clearly had his eyes shut more than they've been open since this woman started talking.
Last week, Bobby Kennedy and Ben Carson and Dr. Oz and the whole crew, sir, announced the Dietary Guidelines for Americans 2025 to 2030, which
he is struggling, dude.
also reintroduced full-fat dairy into a healthy diet. And today,
but it's crazy to see like how the people do seem to notice. Like even when he went over to the window the other day, you know, when he was fucking checking out the ballroom or what's supposed to be and gonna be the ballroom, right? And JD Vance and everybody, they're all looking at him like, what the fuck's going on? He's like, wow, you know what I mean? Like even then, you can tell that they notice that it's not normal. You can tell that they notice they kind of have to make light of it, and like, oh, this is just what Trump does, and Trump is being Trump. But no, they literally do recognize that. Like, okay, let me pat him on the shoulder here. Looks like he's falling asleep. I don't think that's going to be a good look. Like she's recognizing that in her head. She wants to get his attention, or she's just pissed off that it's so disrespectful that he's just like sitting slumped over in his chair, fucking with his eyes closed as people are talking about, you know, things important to children, you know, and their health and shit like that. Clearly not important to Donald Trump, but, you know, we don't have to spend too much time going into that. But I do want to bring up, obviously, the ongoing protests that have been taking place not only inside Minnesota, not only inside Minneapolis, but all over the country at this point. You know, again, Boston, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, San Diego, again, all over Minnesota, you name it. And people are out on the streets. And it's again, not the people that Fox News would want you to believe, not these wine drinking moms. Are they out there? Absolutely. But they're out there along with blue collar guys. They're out there along with veterans. They're out there along with intellectuals. They're out there along with, you know, people that are fucking getting down and ready to scrap. They're out there with people that are fucking totally against that sort of thing. It's like a whole conglomeration of people out there for the same reasons, but all from different backgrounds, all from different nationalities and creeds and different areas of the country, and brought up differently, raised differently, but somehow have come together in this moment because they know the one thing that they can get together on is the fact that whatever's happening in this country, whatever you want to call it, however it's represented right now, not only inside the United States, but across the globe, whatever you want to call it right now, we don't fucking like it, and we're not going to stand for it. We know it's wrong. It's not what this country is built off of. It's not what we stand for. We don't just watch American citizens get ripped up off the streets with no fucking due process by people that don't have the authority to do so while they're not breaking the law, getting shot with pepper balls, getting hit with fucking stun grenades. Like that's just not what this fucking country's built off of, right? We've seen change throughout that, but that's only when we've pushed back against, you know, autocratic fucking, you know, fucking a stranglehold creeping in over the people. So a big shout out to people like, you know, Mercado Media. A big shout out to also, you know, Status Coup and Midas Touch. They've been doing good work together at bringing everybody the, you know, the shots and, you know, the different protests that have been going on. You know, the interviews with people that are out there, so you can get a full understanding. Because it's one thing just to see like a scene of a lot of people screaming and yelling and swearing and upset. It's another thing to actually get to see. Okay, my name is Karen such and such. I come from right here in Minnesota. I'm here because of this reason. I'm this year, you know, this many years old. You know, I was brought up thinking this and believing that. Like it gives it a little more, you know, puts a face to the fucking fight, right? It gives you a little bit more insight, a little bit more like a personal connection to these people, as opposed to like shadowy figures like this. You know what I mean? So great work by Status Coup, great work by people like Mercado Media. Let's just dive into a couple minutes of this just to check in to see what's happening at the Whipple building. I believe this was earlier today. I don't want to represent this as this is like live. So yeah, this was about streamed live on January 13th. So this was yesterday, a little coverage from yesterday, and then these other ones from Status Coup and Midas Touch are a little bit more recent. So just to kind of do a little bit of a recap on what's been happening, let's dive into this for a couple minutes just to, you know, get a sense of what's happening. We'll dive into the other ones. I appreciate it. Hit that like button. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, you know what'd be great is if I put the right one on the screen. That helps.
Oh yeah, Portland also for sure.
So again, I if I'm not mistaken, I do believe this is outside the I know it's the Henry Whipple building at this point. I mean, it's so famous and it's been covered so much. You know, I feel like we've been here before, but you can see in the background the barricades that they've put up, and we saw and we played the video where the trucks were actually just pulling up and they managed to, you know, they were unloading these barricades. Where you can see where my mouse is on the screen, and basically, you know, judging by some of the interviews from the protesters there, they've been put there and it's given the ICE creatures, these ICE thugs, these Gestapo motherfuckers, the ability to use and keep less officers there to occupy, the crowd and to keep them under control. Because the whole point, basically, judging and based off some of the statements of these people, is to keep this place active and to keep the most amount of DHS and ICE officers as humanly possible, as physically possible, wrapped up in at this place, so that they're not out into the neighborhoods harassing and rounding up people at will. So like the more people they have to have here, the less people that gives them to spread throughout the community. So again, what they did is they brought in these the barriers to not only obviously keep people out, but to make it so they don't have to have as many people there to kind of corral the crowd outside. And again, this is just kind of a look at a peaceful, obviously, gathering outside of the building. And this is a 2-hour live stream. He's been, I think there was a several days in a row he was out there live, so God bless him. I'm sure he's probably tired and taking a break, but this was one of the videos that he's put out recently, just to hop into it.
Fuck ICE! 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 Fuck ICE!
So tough from this angle, and just by listening, see if they do like any panning around to see like how big the crowd still is out there.
Even your state, and you come up in here with this level of fucking violence. Yeah. Absolute fucking pathetic.
Well, looks like they're being approached by, well, at this moment in time, again, this is not live, but it looks like at this moment on the video, they're being approached by more DHS and ICE officials or whatever the fuck they are. Who knows what they work for.
Right there, that's my son right there. Hey, that's my son.
They wanted to get, they ran after.
He's a child, he's a kid.
Imagine, like, wouldn't it be so emasculating to be like, to be like, have people congratulate you and like look at you like you're well trained in firearms and fucking well trained in police work and this and that, and what they send you out with? Fucking a paintball gun with pepper balls and like fucking stun grenades. You know what I mean? Like, you look like an arsehole is what you look like. You look like a big fucking arsehole.
Did that to grab a kid? Hey! He's a tribal member! He's a tribal member! I'm telling you right now.
Again, what are the different, the different combinations of uniforms? They're not in set, like, not a fucking group of them kind of looks similar or the same or anything. You know what I mean? It's so difficult for people to understand who's who, what they're working for with masks, you know what I mean? With any due process whatsoever, just taking people.
He's 15 years old. They're grabbing someone right here at the protest. No,
I think he just said in the background they're grabbing somebody right now at the protest.
I'll show you right now.
He's only 15, bro.
Eat a salad!
What did he say? Eat a salad? And somebody yelled in the back of the crowd like he's only 15. I don't know if they were talking about somebody else in the crowd, if they were talking about this kid here who they seem to have brought, to the cement, to the concrete for some questioning here. But this is, again, taking place all over. There's more videos all over the internet, all over YouTube that you could pull up. Here's one from Status Quo and Midas Touch. Trump's ICE launches grenades, bloodies protesters. So this is a lot more, this has got a lot more action in it. So again, I don't know if I should say viewer discretion is advised, or, beware, this is a little bit more active than the last protest that we were just watching. But, this is good to dive into just to see exactly what's taking place, who they're hitting, and who they're speaking to afterwards. Because, again, these aren't the radical, lunatic lefties, blue-haired, the people that they want you to believe. So let's dive into this. Again, shout out to Status Quo and Midas Touch for the work that they've been doing on the streets, as well as many other content creators. I don't want to make it seem like it's just a few. There are a multitude of content creators out there on the streets in Minnesota and elsewhere throughout the country reporting this live, getting the information out there and the facts of the people. So, good on them. Appreciate their work, and we'll represent it well here on Blunt Politics. So again, shout out to Status Quo, Midas Touch. Let's dive into it.
Whoa! Shooting serious munitions at us. Whoa!
Are you a veteran, ma'am? Are you okay?
Hey, this
Okay.
flashbang's really
Right,
Yeah,
so
no.
one example. Here's one example, right? Does this look like a radical lunatic lefty, right? A veteran, clearly distraught, said that the flashbangs, she says that the flashbangs are painful. Like she was just sitting there peacefully protesting as an American, as a veteran who served this country, who sacrificed, put on the uniform, took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And she's being shot with pepper balls and stun grenades. Like, that's not the America fucking I know.
I mean, we were just standing here peacefully protesting.
Oops, we have some pepper pellets being shot here.
Gnarly one right to the.
I mean, and that's just a little example, small example, quick example of what can happen if you get caught in the middle of some of these thugs and the the munitions they're using inside of the American cities that they're in right now.
We're sensing that we're losing our democracy, and we're not going to stand for that.
They hide behind their fucking mask.
I want to get to this guy as well, because this guy's incredible too, another veteran. But I mean, does this look like this college student, like this Gen Z, Gen X, millennial type of fucking lefty, progressive, lunatic lefty, liberal that they want you to believe are out there? I mean, again, you're seeing it on the screen, the people who are actively out in the streets. I mean, again, is this an accurate representation of what you'd hear on Fox News, OAN, RSBN, from Greg Kelly, from Jesse Waters, right? No.
That we're losing our democracy, and we're not going to stand for that.
They hide behind their fucking masks like fucking pussies.
You can help build the only independent news outlet, always on the ground with the people, for as low as 16 cents a day.
Corporate media, they've been lying to us for years, and you go straight to the people.
Flint, Michigan.
Brooklyn, New York.
So again, shout out to Status Quo. I'm just going to go ahead just for the sake of time here. This is ICE attacks protesters, Minneapolis, Minnesota, January 13th, 2026. And again, just a couple minutes of this just to give you an accurate representation of what's been going on in case you've been missing it.
They have been shooting those pepper pellets at the crowd stationed here, and they are coming out in some level of force. So we're going to back up a little bit. Whoa!
So again,
Shooting
what are they
serious-
coming out to disperse? Like, where is the active threat? Where is the riot in progress? Where are the, the fires being started? Where are the glass bottles being thrown, right? Where are the people trying to actively get onto the premises where these federal officers are located? I don't see any of that. I see people holding flags, holding signs. I didn't even hear any chanting or yelling at that moment in time, right? So what is it that they're coming out to do? Other than, show it just a show of force, a show of aggression, to harass, to intimidate, to instill fear, to make it so you don't want to be out there protesting, so you don't want to go against the regime and what they stand for. What else is there? What else are they coming out to do? Because I know in this country, the last time I checked, at least, we do have a First Amendment right to get out there and use our voices, to use our fucking American right as a citizen of this country, to get out there and protest, to use our voice to peacefully protest whatever this government is doing if we don't like it. So again, what are they coming out right now for, other than to just clamp down on that First Amendment right that we have?
Munitions at us. Whoa! Yep, I'm right behind you.
And I'm not sure if this is the exact incident, but they also had one with a camera guy. I believe it was the Status Quo. Camera guy was also struck by one of the munitions. And again, I'm not sure if there was a specific event, if it was earlier, but you can just see who they're going after, where they're just shooting recklessly into the crowd. They're not going after, specific agitators and only using the pepper spray and the fucking paintballs and the flashbangs to, when they specifically need to, and to corral specific people or to quell a certain threat. Right, which is why they're supposed to have them on their fucking person, not for just the fuck of it, not just to go out and say, okay, it's been 15 minutes, let's go shoot them up again. That's just not how it's supposed to roll, right? That's just not how the Americans are rolling, and you can see that in the fucking streets right now, because the more aggressive ICE is, the more fucking, propagandistic, the more lies are told by Kristi Noem and Tom Homan and Donald Trump, the more and more people are going to be out in those streets, and the angrier they're going to be.
That really just came out of the blue. No one was really doing anything here. This thing.
Fuck you, pussy! Suck my dick!
So again, similar to what happened to Renee Nicole Good and these officials just clearly being the antagonizers, clearly being the ones escalating the scene into chaos. That's what you just witnessed on your own screen right there. Was a peaceful fucking protest, nothing going on, nobody blocking traffic, nobody laying in front of cars. Again, no fires started, nothing like that, right? And then all of a sudden the flashbangs go off, the fucking pepper sprays are shot, and next thing you know, everybody's screaming and yelling. It's chaos. People don't know there's cars around. You know, people don't know which way to go. They're being hit with the fucking munitions. They're being burnt, right? They can't see. Like, does that cause more like safety? Does that instill more safety within the public, which is, again, supposed to be their purview? They're supposed to be their responsibility, not just, again, instilling fear and trying to quell your, stamp on your fucking First Amendment right?
There is some serious tear gas already in the air. You see, are they arresting someone there? Yeah, we got somebody, at least one person down on the ground.
This seems to be the strategy. Like, no matter what's going on, even if people are peaceful, like, just go out there and cause a scene, make an example out of someone every hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter who they are. We're going to ruin their life. We're going to hit them with a charge. We're going to make it so they have to get a lawyer. They're going to have to go to court, even though they were just in the crowd doing absolutely nothing, peacefully protesting, just like everybody else out there. You had to make an example. That way, the people surrounding them, actually, it puts through their head, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be here, right? Because I could end up on the ground with fucking 12 people kneeing on my neck. Next thing you know, I get a couple federal charges, and who knows, where they take it from there. God knows, with the control of the federal government they have right now, how much help you have in getting out of that shit, right?
No one likes you. No one is proud of you.
And again, it just invokes anger. It just invokes a reaction, which, again, is probably part of the fucking theme. It's probably part of the plan. If they can invoke this reaction, if they can get more scenes of people fucking, violently combating what they're doing or violently going after them in scenes like this that they could use on Fox News and Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity and Jesse Waters and all these fucking other idiots, right? If they can get that scene, then that's what they're going for too. So that's like a secondary benefit to going out every 2 hours or hour and just stirring shit up. Right? Because maybe you'll get that shot of a lefty or a veteran or whatever, whoever's out there protesting, going over the edge, being pushed over the edge by these actions.
If you, are you a veteran, ma'am?
Yes.
Are you okay?
This flashbangs really
Yeah,
hurt.
my ears are still ringing.
I wasn't expecting that they were doing that for no reason.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What is this like, watching this, like, federal officers run it, what's been a peaceful crowd?
It's terrifying. It's terrifying for all of us.
What are you from, Minneapolis?
I'm from Wisconsin, but I live here now.
Yeah.
I served for 20 years in the U.S. Navy. Oh.
To be treated like this, fuck me.
Right to peacefully protest here in this country. I thought we did.
Oh, so we have some pepper pellets being shot here. They're yelling at people that are,
Just showed up. I had a friend of mine that sent me a box of flags because we stand united as Americans here, and we're trying to stand up against the opposition, which is un-American. And I don't know, there's a puppet in the White House, I believe. And
you're handing out American flags.
yeah, would you like one?
Sure. I'll take one for the moment.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my glove. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
your
brought
glove. Here's-
another one. That's where I'm
here's your
going
glove.
back to look for it.
Where? So, are you from?
And again, just more moments like this that make you proud, that do make you realize that there are good people out there, good people, like-minded people like you that have the similar beliefs, similar thoughts, but different background, different upbringing, but we can come to the same place and to the same conclusion of what we're seeing now take place in this country,
From Minneapolis?
St.
From
Paul.
there? You're
St.
from
Paul, yeah.
So what has it been like seeing, because we've had raids in St. Paul as well? And,
Well, it's really unsettling and really disturbing.
Yeah.
It's like they don't want to abide by our laws. It's a different America than I grew up with, and I'm 67 years old, and I've never seen such horrible things going on in our country. It's really sad.
Do you think?
Amen. And again, for the sake of time, I think they go on. There's one more, Yeah, this guy. I want to make sure that we get this guy in here because this guy's legit as well. Another veteran. Not this one after him, but let's go.
Your citizens.
Oh, excuse me. Her.
I'm a veteran.
Yeah, this guy. This guy fucking lays it out on the line. You know, he kind of snaps, but God bless him. He has every right to as a veteran in the way that fucking Americans are being treated right now. So again, I want to dive into everything that he's got to say.
We need help. Defend your citizens.
I'm a veteran of 7 years. I've bled for this country. I fought for this country, for these people here of Minnesota to come and fight these motherfuckers. They were following ISIS down the highway and they sprayed my daughter and my wife and they almost ran them off the fucking road. So that's another thing. Fuck them, get them out of here. Our state representatives need to step up and fight for their fucking people like we are fighting. But they're too
the very quick lead up to you getting.
He's talking about his daughter, his young daughter, being run off the road. I think he said she was also pepper sprayed at some point. But again, the anger that you're seeing, this visceral reaction from people, like it's only getting worse, right? It's only getting worse as the actions of ICE get more aggressive, as Donald Trump seems to be more and more fucking careless about it and heartless about it. That's when this reaction of the people getting into the streets naturally, right? Not having told like, okay, this date, we're going to be there fucking January 14th or 13th. No, we're just out there every fucking day now. Okay. And then when we leave, when I have to go to work, when I have to go pick up my kids, somebody else is going to be here to take my spot because they'll just be getting off of their shift or they'll just be, just have dropped their kids off of their work. And we just keep replacing each other and we'll be here the whole fucking time until we do see some change. Right. And again, I know I continue to sound like this radical fucking person, and maybe I am. And fucking if I continue to say if that's what I sound like and that's what I am, then so fucking be it. But I do still believe that the change comes in this country. People are going to take notice. Shit is actually going to change the way that we want it to change at the rate that we want it to change when we do start shutting shit down. And again, as unfortunate it is to say that we're in that moment, as much as I tried to keep us out of this moment, if we don't start recognizing that's the moment that we're in, we're going to have a fucking problem, and the problem is going to continue to persist and persist and persist until we do step up and take action, right? Shut down, don't go to work, general strikes as much as we can fucking possibly can at this point. Shut the shit down. That's when companies take notice. That's when fucking people take notice. When the shopkeepers are out in the streets with the people and nobody can get their goods, right? When nobody's in the fucking offices sitting behind their computers and the corporations can't make money and the fucking stock market ain't running because nobody's showing up to the NASDAQ and ain't nobody showing up to the stock exchange because they're in the fucking streets. That's when these corporations are going to take notice. That's when the government is going to take more notice and take us more seriously. And God forgive me if I sound like a fucking revolutionary or if I sound like some fucking drastic fucking leader on a soapbox here, but I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm done playing fucking nice. I'm done playing patty cake. I'm done doing it legally. I'm done doing it with permits. I'm done doing it with like, okay, Facebook posts and this bullshit. No. We're going to utilize this moment. We're going to utilize the anger and frustration and the fucking unity right now that is being shown in the fucking country, throughout the fucking country. And we're going to fucking take that and use that to the most and the best of our benefit as we could possibly use it. So we can see as much change in a fucking short period of time that we deserve because we've spent so long without change. We've spent so long seeing the richest 1% get even richer off the backs of the working people in this country. We've seen fucking immigrants and people of color in marginalized communities be slapped away and demonized and denigrated for so long because of the Republicans, because of conservatives, and because of the fucking sackless, ballless, fucking soulless Democrats, the establishment that are in there and have been in there for quite some fucking time, that love to talk a big game but do absolutely fucking nothing to enact change when they do have the fucking time, the energy, and the power to do so. But that's for a different fucking show. That's for a different story.
I don't know if you were tackled literally, but like brought down on the ground, right? Like that was flashbangs, fireworks, basically.
Yeah, so like they did the flashbangs.
You know what, Yvonne, you were so right there with me because last night, and again, I didn't want to be called too radical or anything like that. I did post on Blue Sky the other night a big long list of leaders that it didn't end well for, including again Hitler, Mussolini, Ceausescu, and the list continues all the way down to like Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, and those types. Like it didn't end well for these people. All of them ended with like a skull next to their name, if you get what I'm talking about. But Yvonne says here, She says, shut it down. General strike needed. Follow France's lead. Protest the fuck out of the country. The time is now. And again, I almost put on Blue Sky. Do you know that like when France tried to implement like I think it was some sort of like gas tax or road tax. Forgive me if I'm getting like the explicit tax wrong. Like that the people of France protested to a point where there was like some 400,000 protesters, and they destroyed something like 90% of the speed cameras in the entire country. Not on a road, not on one highway, not in one town or village or one city, in the entirety of the fucking country. Do you know in the 80s when Renault, the car company, had mass layoffs, what the reaction of the French people was? And this is not in any way, shape, or form what I'm advocating for. I want to make that absolutely clear. This is factual history that actually took place. Do you know what their reaction was? They assassinated the CEO of fucking Renault. They just don't fuck around. Whether it's the farmers in shutting down the highways, the fucking, we can all look, we all know about the videos and the yellow vests that they got on, right? They just don't stand for governmental oppression at all whatsoever. Whatever we could talk about as far as the reputation of the French and capitulating and giving up and not fighting to the end, whatever you want to say, okay. But again, in recent history, in recent memory, their ability to stand up against what they see as like oppressive fucking government action is something that we need to kind of take notice of, right? Maybe at some point, it works because their government seems to take action. And again, that's not what I'm calling for to that extent, but you could see how you do affect changes with drastic, overwhelming action. Same thing as like a military, a military action, a military plan. You want it to be overwhelming force. You want it to be fucking, just a blinding array of weaponry. You want to have so much lead going downfield that the people can't even fucking pick their heads up, right? That's what you wanted. That's the ideal situation in that aspect.
I could tell they were getting suited up, and I thought it was like, okay, now that I did my flashlight, are they getting suited up because of the fucking flashlight?
And again, for the sake of time, we'll dive on here because we're not going too far. Because believe me, because Ben, I think he just does kind of a little recap of some of these things, and I just want to see if he picks up on any more moments that we didn't get to catch in those. Just to kind of dive in from the beginning. I'll let him talk. Maybe we'll just do like the intro and get his kind of point of view on what's been taking place. And then we'll dive on because we got a ton to get through, a ton to talk about. I am itching to get into this so bad. So we'll see if we can kind of fly through. No disrespect, Ben. This Midas Touch video kind of summarizing some of the videos that we just watched. Okay. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, the chance, sticking around, coming back time and time again, to catch up on the news, just to kind of get, a different perspective. And like I said, I really do appreciate and thank you guys so much. All right, let's Midas Touch and Ben take it away, just as he's kind of, again, recapping some of what we've seen take place on the streets in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and elsewhere throughout the country.
All hell continues to break loose in Minnesota and the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul as Donald Trump turns these peaceful cities, these inclusive cities, into an absolute war zone. It looks like you're in Fallujah during the height of the Iraq War.
No,
And
Rachel,
here-
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But I'm just, the general reputation, right? The general discussion and kind of rhetoric towards the French army and the French military as far as that goes. Again, there's much more, and it's a long, storied history of the French military. So again, I don't want to make it seem like those are my beliefs, but just, the general rhetoric surrounding that, that's kind of the main joke or perspective, or, how to poke fun at that, the main way to poke fun, I'd say. So I just to reiterate, you're 100% right. I don't want to make it seem, oh, Jesus criminy, Yvonne, I didn't even see those 20 gifted memberships. Thank you so goddamn much. You were incredible. Thank you so much, Yvonne. I appreciate that. And again, anybody donating gifts or a super chat, or shooting a Venmo, there's a Venmo up here in the corner of the screen. You can take a picture of that. If you send $1 or $2, it goes a long way in helping the show. And I would really, really, really be extra appreciative at this moment in time if you could send a couple dollars throughout the Venmo. It would go a long way in helping. And soon enough, you guys will know why. But if you could do that, that would be a great way to help. You can also sign up for a YouTube membership just underneath me for, I believe, believe $2.99 a month. That goes a long way in helping the channel, or at patreon.com/BostonBrian. We're building the community here again, on our way to 20,000 here on YouTube. We just surpassed 5,000 on Instagram, obviously over 245,000 on TikTok, whatever it is. So let's try to continue to build this base and community that we've built here at Blunt Politics. I really do appreciate you guys, and thank you for all your support. Thank you, Yvonne, and everybody gifting, and stick around to the end of the show, because at the end of the show I go and I make sure to thank everybody that sent a Venmo, everybody that sent a super chat, a super sticker, anything like that. So please stick around. Oh, thank you, Just Saying. I see you sneaking in there. Thank you, beautiful. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. All right, let's dive into it.
There are war crimes being committed against the people of Minneapolis and against the people of St. Paul. And we're seeing this across the country as well. I mean, the people are being gassed. There's chemical weapons of unknown origin, in addition to pepper balls and pepper spray, flash grenades, and other artillery being deployed on the people. People being disappeared to concentration camps, detention centers, where the Trump regime is still blocking members of Congress from access, even after court orders require members of Congress to be able to see what's going on. And likely the Trump regime is covering up the torture that they are inflicting on migrants. And folks, you know, we've been working with the fine folks.
I think I don't know. I have a tough time. I know rhetoric's a big part of political commentary, but you know, I don't know. I think I have a problem with the usage of the word artillery in that instance. I think I understand what he's trying to say, but you know, I don't know. I think I'd be a little bit careful to bring up any like direct correlation to war at this point. Again, when there's obviously a direct definitional use for that word, but again, just me nitpicking and just kind of rhetorical sense.
Over at Status Coup, there are partners on the ground who are bringing you exclusive footage that you're not seeing anywhere else. I want to show you what has happened to Minneapolis and St. Paul, which has become an absolute war zone. Remember, don't just subscribe to our YouTube channel and help us get to 6 million subscribers, but make sure you subscribe to the Status Coup YouTube channel, subscribe to their Substack, become a member of their Substack. It's like $5 a month. They've got reporters on the ground and they partner with the Midas Touch Network.
Well, all right. Well, if everybody's doing the self-promotional aspect nowadays, well, go sign up for my Substack as well. You don't even have to pay. It's totally free. You'll never be charged. I don't expect anybody to be coming out of pocket to again, see any of my content. I find that utterly ridiculous. So again, if you're looking for a free Substack, head over to realbostonbrian.com over on Substack. You can check that out for free. All the content. I try to post all the short videos, all the stuff that I could possibly post as far as lengthwise over there. Any questions, comments, concerns are also over there. So again, if you spend a lot of time on Substack, follow me over there, realbostonbrian.com, also on Blue Sky, again, also obviously Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. So again, if everybody's doing the self-promotional shit, then I'm in.
Let me show you what's going down. Most of this footage is from Status Coup. Some of it isn't. This right here is from Status Coup. They were there at the evening hours yesterday, and you'll see ICE agents launching flash.
A lot of people do. Bald Thanos, he says Ben charges for himself. A lot of people do. I mean, it just, you know, it is what it is. It's some people have no problem
grenades
with it.
and
Some people have no problem with it. Some people do have an issue with it. I don't find it right. Again, people that have been following me for years at this point, and you know, why should they be kind of excluded or kind of excommunicated from any content or any insight or information or opinions that I might have as far as political content? Like, that's why I got on here, is to give my point of view so everybody could come in and listen to it. And like, why would I start excluding people only if you have a couple bucks in your pocket? Like, I ask for, you know, people to be generous to the show, but again, you don't have to. You could do the free stuff. You could chat away in the chat and share and all that stuff and like and subscribe, and it doesn't cost you a dime, and you could do that for the rest of eternity, and I would be just as grateful to you. But you know, some people charge for other things and some people don't. It's just not in my nature. I don't think it's right for anybody to have to come out of pocket to see, you know, incredibly important political content, especially in times like this. Just my point of view. That's it. I don't, you know, I'm not coming after anybody that does.
Shooting other gaseous, noxious agents at protesters in front of the federal building.
Well, I'm sorry, but if you do spell my name with a Y again, you'll be the first one being fucking charged for a Substack subscription. One more time with a Y, and we'll find out just how far I'll be pushed until I start charging to Substack. No, I'm just kidding, brother. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just busting your balls. Just busting your balls. Appreciate you.
Minneapolis causing massive explosions. It's terrorizing. This isn't the America I served for 20 years, a U.S. Navy vet says. amongst other tearful, peaceful protesters.
And again, I believe that's the same woman that we just watched. Like I said, I didn't really have a chance to go through this. I was just kind of see. I think this is some more pictures and photos that we didn't get into. So we'll dive
with
in
their
here.
weapons, their automatic weapons, their semis pointed at people as well. Take a look at this photo. Here's another photo. Just imagine thousands of people going through your neighborhood, pointing weapons at your face, and then launching gas attacks at you.
Again, I don't want to be like sitting here nitpicking and shit like that. But again, I think it needs to be, and I'm sure a lot of people probably aren't like hip enough or like informed enough or educated enough on weapons to be able to distinguish in a lot of cases between a firearm and what he's actually holding here, what these people are actually holding here. So again, I think it's good to educate people, but to try to pass this off as like their firearms, like it's a gun, is I don't know. I'm not sure. I little issue with that, but that's again probably a side note for a different fucking topic and in like how to speak about this rhetorically and shit. I understand and I am totally for obviously the overarching point that is being shown here, but I think we need to again be careful rhetorically on how we kind of elevate this to like a point of like war talk, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that fucking obviously weapons haven't been used and discharged. We've shown you on the show. So don't come at me with that bullshit either. It's just my 2 cents. That's all.
Through your neighborhood, pointing weapons at your face.
Clearly, obviously, Mimi. And I mean, and again, you can see the hopper up top where the pepper balls, or again, in a lot of instances, people would recognize it as like a paintball gun type of thing. And I'm not saying that it should be used in any instance on American citizens. That's again, let's not get the point twisted here. What I'm saying is let's accurately represent what we're seeing in these footages, in the footage, in these pictures, right? That's all I'm saying. I think, words words matter, facts matter, and rhetoric matters in this case, and especially as we kind of espouse here on the left. That's all.
And then launching gas attacks at you, chemical attacks at you. I'll show you what happened here as Trump's ICE agents randomly gassed a residential Minneapolis neighborhood filled with people after taking another young, potentially teenage boy. We'll show you the teenage boy who they kidnapped, who ICE and Border Patrol kidnapped. But here you'll see peaceful protesters, peaceful people on the street, and then ICE throws.
And we'll dive on after this.
Gas weapons at them. They throw these. Just watch for yourself what takes place. Play this clip.
Hey, don't run! Don't run! Do not run! Do not run!
Again, welcome to America 2026, ladies and gentlemen. There's a fucking fat prick bastard that never could have done anything besides this cosplay fucking cop military bullshit he's got going on right now. Won't even allow him his fucking sidearm there. Probably strapped shut. That thing's probably cemented fucking shut. They're only allowing him the fucking pepper gun there that he's got, you fat prick. Again, United States 2026. And again, I'm fucking serious, down to like the type of fucking gun they're using there, the type of like pepper spray, paintball gun, whatever you want to call it. You can almost see it down here, right above the Midas Touch logo. Kind of like if I pop on here, right? Kind of like where this shoulder will be once I go away. You can kind of see almost the logo on it. See where the gun is there, just above like the O and the U in Midas Touch on the bottom right-hand side. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with the make of these things, but I'm talking about every company down to who makes the fucking pepper balls, to the companies who are trucking in the cement blocks, to the people that are assisting ICE in any way, shape, or form. Boycott, post a picture of that company, make sure we blast it on social media, and make sure people know to boycott the shit out of that fucking company. And again, I don't know if you get a better look at that or if you can tell just by the symbol. It's tough for me to tell. Obviously, not only am I unfamiliar with these products, but it's kind of blurry as far as that's concerned. But again, if anybody watching these videos does kind of get, a shot of a truck that they're using, or a shot of this company that they're using or they're being supplied by, put it out on social media fucking ASAP, and we'll be out there boycotting that motherfucker, or at least blasting that out to put the pressure on that company to, again, stop helping these thugs and criminals that are going around, again, just harassing American citizens to the point of arresting, shooting, killing, murdering in broad daylight. So, ton of those videos going around. But again, I'm dying to dive into this. So if you please allow me, this is, again, if you're just joining me, if you didn't catch the intro and us going over some of the things that we'll be talking about, this is one of the more remarkable fucking moments I've ever seen in a political debate, in any debate, really. In my old TikTok days, basically would sit on lives and would, we called it box up, and you would bring people in that were, of MAGA, right wing, and would just kind of would sit there and debate. And it kind of does hone your skills. It gets you used to some of the talking points and some of the bullshit that you'll be, needing to combat if you're kind of in that political space, or if you have MAGA family or whatever it may be, people that disagree with your political stance and point of view. It gives you that like edge a little bit, right? So I've seen some pretty shitty performances and people that clearly didn't know what they were talking about, trying to represent themselves as such. I myself have never come out and said I'm like this master debater, pardon me, or anything like that, or I'm like this, Mehdi Hassan type that has this like ability to recall like all these facts and pull them up on at an instant. No, I have trouble. I've had several concussions in my life. I've played sports. I've fallen off roofs. So at this point, being 40, it takes me a little longer, but I do know it. I can promise you, and I can defend my policies and I can defend my beliefs. That I do know. But this is one of the more incredible things that I've ever seen, and this is where Ana Kasparian comes into play, and again, how Cenk Uygur comes into play also in a different story. I don't know how that happened. I don't know. Wasn't planned. I can tell you that much. But this is, again, a video from Jew Almighty is the guy's name, spelled J-U, just in case you're listening and have any questions about how that's spelled. It is J-U Almighty, so shout out to him. And this is titled Just Pearly Things Gets Absolutely Destroyed in Feminism Debate, right? So that's basically her shtick. And again, you might recognize her. Let me see if I can put her on screen just in case you guys might recognize her. This lady here.
I honestly forgot
Sorry. My apologies. I don't know if you'll recognize this girl here on the screen or anything, but she's famous for like a lot of her YouTube and TikTok shorts that she does, and going around and, again, picking apart women and what they're wearing, and trying to stomp on feminism and talking about how men are the best and women destroy the country, kind of the opposite. The anti-feminist basically is what she goes. So she's in a debate here with Ana Kasparian, basically on the singular topic of feminism. So you'd think she'd be fucking out there hitting her mark, just literally bullseye after bullseye after bullseye. This is her lane. This is her shtick, people, right? She's a 6'1" redhead that hates women, and she's out there and she's got her opportunity. And boy, oh boy, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen somebody freeze like this. And again, let's get into it. I'm going to speed it up just a touch, just so we don't maybe have a little better chance of not running out of time, so I can get into all the stories. But this is wild. Again, check this out. This is, again, credit where credit is due. And again, this is another example of us giving credit to somebody that we've actively called out in the past, right? So to show that we're willing to change and we're not stuck in our ways, and we change depend on what situations happen. Ana Kasparian, everything that you want to say about the right-wing push and what they've said about Donald Trump and sucking up to fucking MAGA, and going on the right-wing podcast and being so lovey-dovey to Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene. All true, no disputing it, nothing to say, no notes. We've said the same thing here. If you've watched long enough, you know my opinion on fucking TYT. Not to be said, doesn't need to be restated, because they suck, in my opinion. But credit where credit is due, and because of her long career, let's call it, doing this, Ana has had the ability to be involved in a lot of debating. Right, she's debated Ben Shapiro. I'm sure she's done political events all over the place, and she's been on TV shows and on panels and stuff like that. So whether you disagree or agree with her politics, she still has been there in the moment. So you would think that this Polly girl, whatever friggin' Pearly girl, whatever her name is, would come with the facts. Boy, oh boy, does she get rolled over. Check this out.
I honestly forgot Just Pearly Things even existed.
So do you agree with that premise that slavery was embellished?
Yeah.
I think
slavery was embellished, lady. Yeah, in case that's another one of her takes that doesn't have to relate to with feminism. That's just one of her massive big brain takes. Slavery was embellished.
That there are parts
What's
that
up,
are
guys? I appreciate you, man. What's up, CSL? What's happening, Celtic Mary? What's going on? Appreciate you, Sparklers. Hit that like button on the way in. If you could, that would be great. Whether you're on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, please make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I don't know why you wouldn't be. If you're going to come in and say hi and hit me with a raid, let's fucking join the club. Let's go. All right, we're just diving into the worst debate performance that I've ever seen, CSL. So if you could stick around for just a moment in time, you're going to see something. If you haven't seen it already, you're going to see something remarkable. You're going to see somebody absolutely just shut down in front of a live audience when they know they have no facts in front of them. So check this out.
under embellished, and there are parts.
And again, just for the sake of time, we're not going to go through the whole video. So why don't we dive into the actual crux of the debate here, you know, where they get into the clips. Here's some of the clips from it. This is crazy.
It got absolutely destroyed by Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks.
Men are 9 times more likely to commit suicide after a divorce.
Compared to women, what's the number for women?
It's lower.
Really? What is it?
So he comes out and gives us the suicide rate for men and tries to big it up as like, you know, men are more vulnerable, right? They're more at risk. That's like her whole shtick, basically. And Anna's simple comeback was, okay, what's the rate for women? You'd think as like an anti-feminist, somebody that does this for a living, specifically on this topic, would know that number off the top of her head. But she just clams up. And again, this is just kind of like a bit of a recap, a bit of like a, I don't even know what you'd call it, an intro to his video. So this is kind of like a different clips put together, and then we'll get into the action.
Comparative analysis is real difficult for you, isn't it? Do you think the advice that you give to men is the type of advice that will fulfill their lives? Because I'll tell you one thing, the best part of my life is my husband.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's 6'1", about your height.
It got so bad at one point she just started glitching out. You could see her brain start to malfunction in real time.
Are you just making things up? Pearl, what are you doing? Like, seriously.
Bro, this is an open debate. You can see the clock in the background. You got a fucking mediator, right? Somebody actually running the debate. This isn't like a YouTube video they're shooting and it's like a joke or anything. She's in front of an audience. They're fucking, the names are on the TV. They're on the Jumbotron. Like, and she just says, like, what are you doing? Do you have anything to come? And she just clams up. She just sat there silent. And at one point you can even, there's like a cell phone footage from somebody in the crowd. And even the people in the crowd are like, what the fuck's going on? She's not saying anything. Like, is she okay? Is she high? Like, what's happening here? Like, even the audience was confused.
No joke. She just froze on stage like an actual robot rebooting.
Pearl isn't saying it.
Listen,
which is hilarious, but also very.
That's like that's from a cell phone. That's a cell phone fucking video from somebody in the crowd, and they're like, "Pearl's not saying anything. What's going on?"
Very on brand. Pearl built her entire career off stealing Kevin Samuels' talking points. And
right,
later,
so again, for the sake of time, this kind of does like a little background into her like politics and rise of. But again, just for the sake of time, just all you need to know, she's like the anti-feminist, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. And we'll dive into just a couple clips, and then we'll head on from this. But Jesus Christ, this was wild to see. I wasn't even gonna bring this up on the show because there's so much other shit going on. But it's just such a good example of what right-wing grifters look like when they're put in front of the spotlight and they can't back up the facts. I thought this would be really important to show because after I saw it, I was like, all right, you know what I mean? Credit where credit is due to Anna. She just bodied that bitch. She did. That was the first thought I had.
Women aren't really doing much. We're not having kids.
Again, just to set this up, so each one of them kind of has a question. They ask the other one a question, and then they're supposed to answer it. So we'll go back. This is kind of the beginning of Anna's question to Pearly here.
The May 2024 appearance on Tim Pool's Culture War podcast, my opponent, Pearl Davis, declared that women aren't really doing much. We're not having kids. We're not really contributing to the economy when you look at output. In fact, she uses this ridiculous assertion to argue that women should not have the right to vote.
Why then are 5 to 10% of women between the ages of 18 to 25 on OnlyFans or other prostitution websites?
Look at how pathetic this is. Like, again, all the facts that Anna just spit, they're either nicely down on her little sheet that she's got there, and then you see fucking Pearl pull up her sheet, and it's like Donald Trump's scribble. I mean, look at how big the writing is. You can see it on the paper here. Like, it's like, I don't know, fucking 10 times spaced out. She's got about 40 different pages stapled together. You can see her the whole time kind of flipping through her notes, trying to look for that correct fact that she doesn't have in there. It's amazing. It really is remarkable. And even, the commentator here, that the Jew Almighty guy who's doing this video, is like, she's, even when she's reading the facts that she does have written down, it's like dry. There's no personality. She doesn't seem to like know it. She just seems to know that she wrote it down type of shit. So check this out.
There are more online prostitutes in America than female Walmart employees.
Right out the gate, you can kind of see the difference in who knows what by how they're delivering their opening statements. I don't know if this whole debate is about feminism, but that's what they're talking about. At least that's what Anna's talking about in her opening statement, where she's reading, but she clearly knows information. And you don't really get that same vibe from Pearl.
1 of 3 women will catch an STD at some point in their lifetime.
Like, this seems like a fucking second grade school project. Right, the way she's reading it. 1 in 3 ladies and women in a lifetime will get this or this, right? Like, fucking, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's the vibe that I get. Like, yes, Mrs. Andrews, let me tell you about the struggles of the women's. 1 out of every 3 women will have a difficult circumstances.
You get that same vibe from Pearl.
1 of 3 women will catch an STD at some point in their lifetime. 90% will catch HPV, which is incurable. Feminism has empowered women to abort 1/8 of the world population and 1/3 of Gen Z.
Pearl just has no charisma or stage presence or confidence at all when she's talking, which is crazy that she just had a whole platform built around her. But she actually got as big as she did by maxing out the shorts algorithm and blowing up her channel, which, if you know YouTube, if you blow up off shorts, it's very hard to translate short subs and views to long form content.
Which he's got a good point too. He's got a good point, because most of her stuff is that like short form TikTok type of YouTube short shit. So now that she's like been exposed, and she's been exposed before, I'm not making it seem like, excuse me, that this is the first time by any stretch. We saw her on with Ethan Klein, and again, if Ethan Klein's getting the best of you in a debate, you really have some fucking problems. She's been on with Tim Pool and other idiots, and when she couldn't back up any of her any of her beliefs or policies or anything like that, she didn't know the facts or the figures, especially in that like embellished slavery argument. She was made to look a fool in that one, and to the point in this fucking in this debate where she, after the debate, goes on to a live stream to say that she was so humiliated that she thought at one point about physically assaulting Anna Kasparian to get out of the debate. I shit you not. We'll take a look at it. And again, we'll just look at a couple instances, a couple parts, but this is just wild to me. I don't know how you let this happen to yourself. I would have walked off the stage a long time ago.
Main channel content really wouldn't get views like that.
We're going to go now to the opening interrogations. We have 10 minutes. Do we have that on the clock?
Can you cite some actual studies that look at the statistics and back up what you say in regard to the outcomes of marriage and divorce in America?
So my daughter did debate, and that's one of the first things they tell you to do is whenever you're debating somebody and they start shooting out facts, ask them to cite the specific sources that they're using. And for whatever reason, most people really get tripped up from that cite the sources question.
41% of 109 cases reported to police in a Midwestern city were admitted to be false by complainants.
In one Midwest.
So again, the specific fucking statistic that she cites in response to Anna's question is from one specific Midwestern city or Midwestern town, right? And Anna picks that apart immediately. So he's like, okay, so you're giving me stats from one town and trying to represent that as like the entirety of the United States of America and what every individual woman goes through. Like, that's pretty ridiculous, don't you think?
Western city.
Look at her.
And which Midwestern city was that?
You can go from your ivory tower.
I'm not in an ivory tower. I'm on this debate stage interrogating your assertions, and you've only provided.
This debate just started. Why does Pearl look like a deer in headlights? That's the first question, the first response they usually tell debaters to
He
ask.
ain't wrong. He's not wrong, though. Literally, the opening arguments had just gotten away. Like, they just did their opening statements. This is like the first round of the debate, and she's already looking at the crowd like, all right, how the fuck do I get out of this one? Like, can I fake a heart attack? Like, I am 6'1", apparently, she says, or whatever the fuck, right? So should I beat Anna up at this point and run, or what do I do? How do I get to look at her? Like, that's not a confident face. Like, you know what? I feel like I'm going to win this debate. That's not what I'm getting. That's not the vibe I'm catching here.
Can you cite the sources and then you respond from there?
Because if you look at the data, which I did, of course, you'll find that women are twice as likely to fall into poverty after divorce.
Right, because they can't
alimony
stop
is
spending.
paid out in 10%.
And again, Anna, right off the bat, and again, whatever you think of her politics, and we've called it out many times here, I want to continue to reiterate, flowers at this individual instance, for this individual instance, doesn't mean flowers overall. Let's get that fucking perfectly clear. Let's not get it twisted. But she smells blood in the the water right the fuck away in this. Like, she knows she's got the upper hand. She knows she's got like intellectual integrity on her side. She knows she's got the facts. She just smelled blood right away. And you can even tell where she's steamrolling Pearl, even when Pearl does try to interject and come back with some whatever bullshit. She don't even let her get the word in. It's like she just continues to steamroll. Pearl recognizes that and clearly shuts the fuck up. Like, it's crazy how instantaneously Anna actually knew she was like well away the winner in this. She probably knew it heading into it, but I guess there was like a lot of fucking preparation you could have been doing in this. So to see Pearl like come so unprepared is wild. It really is.
Of divorces. According to the Census Bureau, the average child support payment is $441 a month.
I wish Pearl would come with facts because I don't even agree with Anna is saying right now. $400 seems really low for child support. But I guess
for the sake of time, we'll skip ahead a little bit.
Twice as likely to fall into poverty after divorce.
Right, because they can't
alimony
stop
is
spending.
paid out in 10% of divorces. According to the Census Bureau, the average child support payment.
Look at her trying to flip through her notes. Like, she frantically flips through that fucking school project like the entire time looking for. And again, I think he even says it, and I'll get out of the way because I feel like I'm covering his face, but I feel bad. But he even brings it up. He's like, dude, it makes me feel like that thing when I'm up in front of the teacher and like I know I didn't write that fact down and I know I should have, but I'm still gonna flip through my notes like I thought I wrote it down, like I know I wrote it down, even though I'm damn sure it ain't in there anywhere. Like, he brings it up and it's so spot on.
It is $441 a month, and only 60%
Right, but how
of
much are
those
they
payments
making?
get paid out.
How much?
Women do not get child custody
Take
90% of the time.
The word in edgewise, right? Like, Anna she smells that blood, like I said, in the water, and just knows when, okay, I'm gonna steamroll this motherfucker.
As you have asserted before. In fact, 95% of custody cases are mutually agreed upon outside of the courtroom. Women get full custody 40% of the time. Men do get full custody 20% of the time.
Again, just for the sake of time, let me pop back on here. We'll go on to, there's a couple moments here where she just absolutely freezes. See if I can catch these moments, because this is about a 16-minute video. They do a good job of covering the whole, or at least the, salacious moments of the debate. But check this. Look at that face. Look at that face. That is not an I'm winning this debate face. I got to tell you that much. I'm not a fucking face professional, right? I don't know. That seems like more of a resting bitch face to me, just saying. But that definitely looks like I'm losing this, and I'm thinking about chopping her head off at some point.
What happens to men if they don't pay child support?
Again, I'm not.
And again, she answers, and he's about to respond with, a similar take. But another thing you learn in debating is not to answer a question with a question. You don't respond to a question with a question. You know that you don't have anything to bring to the, to the question that you've been asked. If you're going to answer with a separate question, and here Anna asks her a question, and her response to it is she's not even paying attention. She just responds with a question.
To answer. So I don't know what else to ask you. Do you think you're helping men by discouraging them from entering fulfilling marriages?
What happens to men if they don't pay child support?
Again, I'm not.
What does that have to do with what she asked you? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You've just totally given up on answering the question, and then he goes over some tweets of people reacting to it.
It legit got worse for Pearl.
Are you just making things up?
This is cringe.
Pearl, what are you doing? Like, seriously.
Oh.
Next question.
Oh, it's so hard to watch. That secondhand embarrassment. Like, I'm such a secondhand embarrassment person. Like, no matter who they are, I don't care how much I despise them. Like, I have to avert my eyes at a point where somebody is just making a fool out of themselves, right? Just absolutely the most cringeworthy shit. And she's literally asked a question. Are you making shit up in a debate, a political debate, in front of fucking real human beings with a real debate, moderator and shit actually taking place? And she just goes silent, bro. She just shuts the fucking batteries down. It doesn't even respond. She smiles and just, that's it. It's over. Check this out.
Things up.
Watch one more second. She goes, are you just making things up here?
In response, Pearl just has no real information, facts, or insight to give. So she's just answering questions with questions now. And it legit got worse for Pearl.
Are you just making things up?
Oh my God, how quickly that that awkward smile went away. That's weird shit. Like, check how fucking, like, she's smiling, and then all of a sudden she's like, I have nothing to say to that.
Making things up?
What is this, bro?
Pearl, what are you doing? Like, seriously.
Oh, Jesus.
Next
Anna.
question.
Anna had to fucking, not only was the knife inserted, but she had to just kind of go in there and give it a little twist. Just a little twist. You know, what are you doing, Pearl? What are we doing this for? Like, this is embarrassing. And again, just for the sake of time, let's go on to the end here where she actually goes on her live stream to talk about how she wanted to literally physically assault Anna Kasparian because of how embarrassed she was. Ready? Check this out. This is after this debate. She's on her own channel, on her own live stream, and she is distraught. Check this out.
Clearly taking the L in the debate hard and admitting that she was thinking about putting hands on the lady Anna.
I thought about it. I'm like, you can talk like this to men, but I'm bigger than you. I could body you. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah.
Even here in her own live stream, when it's so easy to be entertaining and personable in your own space, she is still super dry, low energy, no personality, no charisma.
Yeah, she just got absolutely wiped, bro. Like, what do you expect? Like, Anna just quite literally cleaned that stage, like dipped her in fucking water with a little bit of bleach, right? Fucking used her as a 6'1" mop and cleaned the fucking stage with her. So she's tired. Give her a break. But she goes on here to talk about, I think, catching a charge or something stupid like that.
Through shorts, where does
me of the police. I never want to like get in trouble in that way. But you know, I'm getting older. And have you noticed the older you get, I'm like, do you know what? I could catch a charge.
Update Pearly things were
like she's literally talking about catching a charge because of how humiliated she was in a political debate. And again, I wish we had some like more time, and I wish that was like there weren't some like other extenuating circumstances happening in this country. We could dive deeper into that and figure out like the mindset of these right wingers and Republican and conservative grifters that just think they know everything and will put themselves in this position willingly. I don't know. It's again another thing to be studied by psychologists for a long time to come. But how much time we got? 6:45, about 45 minutes left. This will be a quick one anyway, so let's dive into this real quick, and then we'll get into calling out Joe Rogan, and then my kind of 2 cents on the I've Had It podcast, having Cenk Uygur on, as they again title that video "Billionaire Ass Kisses." They couldn't be more ironic, it really couldn't. But let's dive into this Nick Shirley video by Kyle here, and again, we're just gonna unfortunately and apologetically use Kyle's video for the clips on this one, just again for the sake of time. He does do great commentary on this, and follow him over on Secular Talk if he floats your boat. But again, for the sake of time and for the sake of him getting the clips together, here is just a couple instances. And again, to set the table here, Nick Shirley, the asshole, that like ridiculously dumb moron that tried to come out with the so-called documentary that so-called exposed so-called Somali fraud in Minnesota. Yeah, that asshole. Well, remember how we were calling him stupid and like just this moronic piece of shit that also did pro-Russian and pro-Israeli propaganda at the same time? Well, yeah, this just kind of proves and drills that point home a little more, because like you'd think an independent journalist or anybody that would be dumb enough to go out on a limb and call themselves a journalist without a journalism degree or having studied journalism in any way, shape, or form would be able to like understand the English language. Again, at least above and beyond the Channel 5 news kid. and no disrespect to Andrew Callahan over at Channel 5 News, but you would just suspect, right, people that are like the vice president and the president and like Pete Hegseth and all them are applauding and like promoting their work. You would just, maybe they'd be held to a higher standard than the fucking Channel 5 News kid, Andrew Callahan. But let's dive into this. He sat down with Channel 5's Andrew Callahan, and Andrew asked a very simple question about benevolent billionaires. And not only did Nick Shirley not know what benevolent meant, probably never heard the word in his life, spit it back to Andrew Callahan completely wrong, but also needed the definitional use of it to, in fact, put it in a sentence. So again, just to kind of reiterate the type of people that the vice president and these assholes are kind of like applauding for his unbelievable work, this is who we're talking about. And again, this is Nick Shirley. Check it out.
Background, who apparently has the IQ of a dead ferret, and I'm not kidding about that. You're about to see. So take a look at this. How stupid is Nick Shirley? He tells interviewer Andrew Callahan that he lost respect for him for not denouncing the killing of Charlie Kirk. Callahan responds that he did, and Shirley admits he didn't watch the relevant video because he doesn't want to.
Another great point too. That's another great point. Like, he goes on there to talk about, and he brings up this point and says, you know, he's disappointed in Andrew Callahan for not fucking coming out against the murder of Charlie Kirk. And Andrew Callahan was like, no, I did. There's a video out there. And the kid was like, no, I didn't watch that. So again, somebody that's supposed to be calling himself a journalist, and it pains me to say that, but that's what the right is holding him up as. So again, that's what it makes it all the more hypocritical, right? To call him a journalist and then show what we're about to show and call out the bullshit that we've been calling out. So again, just for the sake of what the right is calling him, anybody this stupid calling himself a journalist and then going on there and be like, no, I didn't actually watch what I'm supposed to be educated on before I commented on it, is again just another kind of red flag put up there where you'd be like, maybe I shouldn't believe what this kid says. But it goes on. It gets worse because, again, doesn't know what benevolent means.
Since he already decided that Callahan didn't denounce the killing of Charlie Kirk. My head hurts from watching this moron.
Which, again, just to prove my own worth here, I do believe means like generous, giving, charitable, if I'm not mistaken. Just to, make sure I'm smarter than a fourth grader and Nick Shirley at the same time. Correct
so
me if I'm
that
wrong.
sounds like he's being like hyperbolic, that Hanania here is being hyperbolic. He's not. Watch this.
Ask me, how do you gain credibility and trust? Well, you say a fact for a fact.
And the fact is that the first thing I think of when I think of Somalia
And the fact is, what are Somalians
Captain
known
Phillips.
for? Pirating.
Well, that's in Somalia.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Did this boy just watch Captain Phillips? Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he was just trying to equate? Right, so he's trying to equate his piece on the Somali community in Minnesota to the piracy scene known in and around actual Somalia. Like, what? What are we talking about here? Are you saying that these people are going around on fucking speedboats, hijacking cargo ships in and around Minnesota? Or what are you saying here? What are we talking about? You do know that's not the same people, right? You do, maybe?
Ask me, how do you gain credibility and trust? Well, you say a fact for a fact.
And the fact is that the first thing I think of when I think
And the
of
fact
Somalia
is, what are
Captain
Somalians known
Phillips.
for? Pirating.
Well, that's in Somalia.
Okay, so I let me set the table on this one for you a little bit. Andrew Callahan says to him, hey, how can I grow my credibility with the right-wing base?
Oh,
Like, I want
my
more
God.
right-wing followers in my audience because Andrew Callahan's audience is mostly left-wing, so he's more of a left-wing guy, right? So he says, how can I build credibility with these people? And Nick Shirley fires back and says, well, you have to call a spade, call a fact a fact. And the fact that he's trying to get Andrew to admit is Somalis are pirates. Bitch, what? Bitch, what? He's literally admitting the only connection I have to any Somali anywhere.
I'm telling you, I
is
would
that-
not put it past him. Like, what are the movies that Donald Trump loves? Fucking Christ, I'm not going to be able to think of the one where Al Pacino hits him with a baseball bat. The Untouchables, right? That's one of them. He loves The Untouchables. He says a bunch of other movies, right, where he continues to talk about Hannibal Lecter, right? Fucking, what are a couple instances that he brings up? Like, those two stick out to me, but you can definitely tell when he's like recently watched those movies and he continuously brings up, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you did this to him, he'd hit you with a baseball bat and you'd do this and that. It's like, no, that's just a scene in a movie that you saw, you dumbass. So I would not put it past Nick Shirley to have just recently being like, Somali in Minnesota. I've heard that before. Donald Trump just said that. Aren't they pirates? Let me go watch Captain Phillips and maybe we can make a fucking documentary about pirates and then we'll equate that to the people in Minnesota because that has some relation. Like, I just wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't.
That movie with Tom Hanks that came out a while ago.
Right.
And so the Somalis were pirates in that movie. And there was a story in the news about 15 years ago about how the Somali pirates were seizing a lot of stuff. And so that's all I know about Somali.
I'm dying, bro. I'm dying. And it gets worse, too, because he goes on here and he doesn't know the word. I think this is either the same clip or a different one, but here we go.
And the fact is that the first thing I think of when I think
And the
of
fact
Somalia
is, what are
Captain
Somalians known
Phillips.
for? Pirating.
Well, that's in Somalia.
Somalis are known for pirating. Oh, my God.
Again, sorry. I know we'll run out of time, but let me just dive into this one again because I want to get into the benevolent clip because it really shows his stupidity.
American politics ever.
And I didn't even watch the interview because I didn't want to watch that.
Well, you should watch it.
I don't want to.
Like, he's quite literally admitting that he's commenting on something that he did not see. Like, he chose not to watch, but he's got a comment on what he thinks was the outcome of that video. Like, you see how moronic that is? You see how, like, clearly stupid and ridiculous that is? Let me see. It keeps going on here, too. I want to catch that one clip. I think it's maybe this one.
Was curious if maybe there was people in the GOP who chose to signal boost your piece as wide and far as possible in a way to distract and move the goalpost away from that.
I don't know. Like, if that was their initiative, it probably worked pretty well.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ. He just clearly admitted to say that if that was their initiative, it worked pretty well because that's exactly what happened. Like, again, just using your fucking piece to demonize a community that Donald Trump had been long demonizing, and that could be used to justify Donald Trump's rhetoric. And not only that, but amplify the actions of ICE and amplify the reasons in which we need to install ICE into these communities, the harassment of the local people. Maybe they'll self-deport. A lot of that, it goes hand in hand with why these people on the right were, again, amplifying this piece.
What a fucking admission that is. Ding, 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 ding. That's what it was. It was score.
Healthcare being expensive.
Yeah.
So we're all talking about the same thing here. It's just, I think the main difference is how are we going to get there?
And then when we have someone like Elon Musk, the smartest man in the world, who offers his help to get rid of fraud here in the United States, that could potentially cut down.
The smartest, I'm sorry, richest at some point now, yeah, you're going to have to give him. I'm sure that's kind of like factually a statement you can't fucking deny. But to come out with the smartest man in the world for Elon Musk is a fucking joke. Is an absolute fucking laughable joke. You should give up your time as a so-called journalist and start stand-up fucking comedy, because that's a laugh, brother. Let me give you an old good knee slap on that one. That's a knee slapper, as we do say so in Boston. A big old fucking wicked knee slapper, because that's a joke. Smartest man on the planet.
Prices for healthcare that could potentially help cut down the prices for homes, that could potentially give people better wages, and then they go and attack him.
He just called Elon Musk the smartest man in the world, number one.
Kyle's having a conniption here. He just almost fell out of his fucking chair. Hold on, let me just see. Did we miss the fucking? No, we couldn't have missed it. Did we miss it? No, it's this one right here. All right, let me see.
How like programmed he is to be wrong. All right, more.
Why is California trying to get essentially push out the billionaires by imposing another?
Did I miss the benevolent clip? I brought it up specifically so he had that clip. I don't know what the fuck. Is it this one?
Billionaire. You can't buy, if you have $1 billion that you can buy a 10, they're not able to then pay their employees as much.
I think they'd be able to pay.
$1 billion is not a difference to $2 billion to a billionaire. You can't buy, if you have $1 billion that you can buy a $10 million house, you can buy a $20 million house. There's no difference. The thing is they're going to face different restrictions inside of a Democrat-ran state than they are in a Republican state. That's why they all moved to Texas.
Yeah.
That's why now Elon Musk, he moved to Texas.
Yeah, they're moving to Texas to save money because they don't want their money to be
taxes. Right.
Taken and go to the poor.
No. And what happens in California? $24 billion.
That money is then used to subsidize the red states, you fucking moron. Do you know anything about the way that, the blue states work and how, again, they subsidize the red states that don't, again, make enough to subsidize them old goddamn selves, which is why a lot of them are piss poor in education, economy, any fucking metric that you can pull up. And that, again, states like Massachusetts, New York, California are a lot of a big, for a lot of the fucking part are responsible for funding different red states and keeping them going. Like, is that not something you're aware of?
Dollars went missing, Andrew.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you that Gavin Newsom and the NGO industrial complex is embezzling the funds. But those, to me, I know this is probably going to sound crazy, I view them as like not necessarily having the best interests of the people in mind.
Yeah, and those are the people you support.
I don't vote for California Democrats.
You're supporting the left. And right now you have the opportunity.
I don't know how the hell did I miss this clip? It's got to be in here somewhere, you would think, right? Hold on, let me see. Maybe I skipped it in the middle here. The one clip I wanted to play.
Fact for a fact.
And the fact is that the first thing I think of when I think of Somalia,
and the fact is, what are Somalis known for? Pirating.
Well, that's in Somalia.
Somalis are
dealing all the.
Yes, not that part. I know.
It's baked into their DNA.
Piracy. So how do you, somebody just like me and you, who was making videos, putting it on the internet, and then people literally killed him? But I thought that was kind of messed up of you to not publicly.
Only me, guy.
Denounce.
I can literally have it set up, before the show, and somehow it just doesn't end up in the video the next time I play it. That's just, it only happens to me, I swear. I didn't miss any, right? Is it this one?
Did lose respect for you when it felt like you went silent.
Well, you should watch the video because I say some stuff in it.
Okay, cool.
Of who this guy Nick Shirley is.
Who do you think are the three most benevolent billionaires?
What do you mean by Lord?
All right, here we go. I knew it was in here somewhere. I thought I was fucking tripping for a second there. All right, so the question he asked by Andrew Callahan to Nick Shirley. Pretty simple question, and this will be the last one that we watch. We'll dive on. Who do you think is the most benevolent billionaire? Like, if you're so, gung-ho and you're so fucking, hanging on to the boots of the billionaires and you love them so much and you think they're so important, who is the most benevolent one? Who is somebody that we could applaud and be like, oh, yes, let's hold them up on a pedestal because of their, their philanthropy or whatever you think they're fucking known for? And listen to his response to the question. I love it. I love it. If you don't think that right wing is a dumb, regardless of how many followers they have or subscribers they have, here's your fucking answer.
Yes. You're going to love this. If I only showed you this, you would walk away with the correct perception of who this guy Nick Shirley is.
Who do you think are the 3 most benevolent billionaires?
What do you mean by the word benevolent?
So he comes back with benevolent, not benevolent, malevolent. So clear cut evidence that he's never fucking had the word used before in his life, right? Never been fucking asked a question with it in the sentence, and clearly doesn't know what the word stands for, means, or how to spell it. But again, this is the guy they want us to believe did like this unbelievable fucking journalism that broke the story of the century, of the fraud of the century. Not buying it. Really? It goes on. So it gets worse. It
I think are the 3 most benevolent billionaires.
What do you mean by the word benevolent?
Just well-intentioned, positive billionaires who you think are creating, net positive societal progress.
Trump?
Oh, Jesus Christ. And then the response, like, could it be any more fucking, like, just to the nose, on the nose, stupid for the answer? And again, we don't have to dive into more of that. I know. It's just, I want to show you these instances that'll be like, okay, these are the actual people that, again, the vice president of the United States and all these other morons are applauding and highlighting their work. And really, if you actually talk to them, you can tell how dumb they are and how much you shouldn't fucking applaud their work. But all right, let's dive into this, because I want to get into this too, because a lot of people are giving this moron some credit where I don't think credit is actually due. So again, if we dive into and this is, I think, like maybe a 2.5, 3 minute clip, so I don't think we're going to dive into too much of this at all. But this just kind of proves that he's coming at it from, the angle that you'll hear on some of the clips that you've obviously seen or undoubtedly will see. But he also comes at it from a totally different angle, not long before his fucking Gestapo talk and probably not long after that, because, he also wants these people to remain masks because he thinks that, it's a problem if they were to get doxxed, even though, judges, law enforcement agents, they don't have that, ability. Like we have the ability to be like, okay, name and badge number, right? What's your name, judge? Here's your face. I know that part. Like, that's just not something that prosecutors, DAs, they don't get afforded that right. But Joe Rogan wants, ICE agents to be afforded that right simply because they're tasked with deporting people. And they think that's like, a job nobody wants, rightfully so. But here we go. I'm going to just dive into a couple minutes of this and call out the bullshit, because you've been hearing the Gestapo talk. And again, this is just a minute or two of this, but I just want to show you the before of it too.
But those same people that believe that might also believe that once someone is here, they should be able to stay in this country, and ICE is operating illegally, and we shouldn't have militarized groups of people roaming the streets, just showing up with masks on, snatching people up, some of them U.S. citizens.
Right. But again, that's one of the clips that you'll hear. But as he's trying to get it across, he says in the very beginning, as you heard, the same people that believe this, right? And he's talking about, I think before this, they're talking about vaccines, they're talking about, migration and wanting everybody to stay in the country, which is ridiculous. No Democrat says everybody that come here should be allowed to stay in the country. Obviously, there's an asylum process. There's certain parameters that you need to go. No, criminals, murderers, rapists, all of those. I mean, none of those. Nobody's advocating for those people to get to remain inside the country that are, here to do harm or here not to contribute to society. That's just not something anybody in the left is advocating for. But that's what Joe Rogan was trying to get across. But again, a lot of people are putting this like 2-second clip together of this instance and then the Gestapo talk, and not bringing up the fact that he's on both sides of the fence and he's not clear cut talking about this as his stance. He's just not.
And shipping them to countries they didn't even come from. So that's why they have to wear a mask. If you want them to do that job, if you want them to be able to deport,
so this is the end of the sentence. Again, that statement that you'll probably hear used on several social media sites and videos. This is the end sentence of that, right? So if you want them to be able to deport 500,000 people, like, you need them in masks. Like, you don't want these people known because they'll be doxxed because nobody likes what they're doing. Well, maybe nobody likes what they're doing because it's not what they were meant to be doing. Maybe because they're not actually following the tasks or the letter of the law in who should be, actually, deported. What, they're not actually going after the criminals. They're using it for everything but going after the criminals. Now that Fox came out with the 18, most egregious people they've rounded up, they're bragging about 18 people that actually fit the bill of these murderous traffickers. You know what I'm talking about? The bad people, the 18 people they can represent. That's it.
So that's why they have to wear a mask. If you want them to do that job, if you want them to be able to deport 500,000 people over a year, which is a lot of people, if that's the real number,
and it's nowhere even near it, I'm sure.
They're going to be Their life's going to be at stake.
Yeah.
You're not
right.
Gonna be-
So that's Joe Rogan there talking about how they need to remain masked because their lives are at stake because of the jobs they're tasked with. Well, let's just kind of flip that on its head and be like, okay, well, why are people so upset with the job that they're tasked with? Let's break down the job. Not only that, not just the job, because the title and what they're supposedly doing is one thing, but what they're actually doing on the streets, what they're actually perpetrating against the American people is a totally different fucking conversation. So again, if you want to flip it on its head, let's have the real conversation, not just like the policy conversation on an overarching basis, on just like a general basis. Let's talk about what they're physically doing, what they're actively doing right here, right now in America.
able to get people to do the job unless you allow them to be anonymous. And
again, as he just states it, you won't even get people to be able to do the job unless you get them to remain anonymous. Why? Because they're white nationalists. Why? Because they're bigoted, racist thugs that were pardoned for January 6th, that have been fucking recruited from the ranks of the Proud Boys, the 3%ers, the Oath Keepers, right? All of these other groups that are now out there that you don't hear much of because they're now in fucking ICE uniforms. They're now in DHS uniforms, getting to cosplay as fucking military soldiers against their own people. Something that Brian Andrews and I talked about. Again, go back and check out our conversation. A lot of great points made in that we're actively seeing right in front of our face.
Again, allowing them to be anonymous creates a whole host of other problems.
Right. Again, now he's trying to say it's a whole host of, like, you see how he's trying to play the fence here? He's trying to play both sides of the aisle. You know, he's still hanging on to Donald Trump's coattails while also being like, oh, it's something that we need to call out. But, again, let's not call out what's really happening. Like, he's trying to play that both sides bullshit. And again, a lot of these videos that I'm sure you'll see will be like, oh, Joe Rogan turns on Trump. Joe Rogan dumps Trump. Joe Rogan fucking throws Trump away or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? These clickbaity bullshit titles that you hear. Not what he's doing at all.
Have people pretend to be them, and how would you know who's who and who's not?
Some people have offered sort of an in-between where they wear badges that have a number or a first name on them, such that when you're
Sorry,
arrested...
are you talking about the prisoners or are you talking about the police? Because there was also a moment in time where I know that we had to brandish people and tattoo numbers on individuals. There was a word for what that was called.
If I think you've abused my rights in arresting me, Steve...
And again, I don't necessarily give a fuck what Rand Paul has to say. I'm more interested in calling out what Rogan has to say.
You know, and a number, 324.
People are going to dox them instantaneously.
Again,
So they're
worried about doxing. But doesn't seem too worried about the police, right? Doesn't seem too worried about FBI agents and fucking the CIA or whatever the fuck these people go around. You know what I mean? ATF that don't necessarily wear masks, right? Not worried about the judges or the DAs or the prosecutors that don't wear masks. But all of a sudden he's worried about these people that, again, are doing a job nobody wants them to do, nobody believes in, is totally un-American. It's crazy.
Face will be on the internet instantaneously. They'll make lists. They'll put it on social media sites. It's complicated, obviously, but it's also very.
What do we got? Another shooting? What do we got? Another shooting? Hold on. Minneapolis ICE shooting live updates. Report of a shooting involving federal agents. Is this an update? ICE agent who shot Renee Good suffered internal bleed. Yeah, I wrote that down. Bull fucking shit. Internal bleeding my ass.
Well, clashes
if he did, it's because he had a bad burrito the night before and his fucking stomach was rumbling too much. If he had internal bleeding from what we saw on that fucking film, bullshit. I just want to see if they dive into this update and what story. Tensions continue in Minneapolis in response to the killing of Renee Good. Homeland Security said that the ICE was allegedly attempting to run over law enforcement officers and yada, yada, yada. Is this new? Because this says live here. Let me see. It says 21 minutes ago, breaking another shooting involving, let's see what this says. Breaking another shooting involving federal law enforcement. It's a week after Renee Good shot ICE in South Minneapolis. Shooting involving federal law enforcement has been reported in Minneapolis. Let's see here. What's this?
Oh, shit! Here comes the fireworks!
You go to
We
this.
got stormtroopers in this motherfucker. They got intercoms on their fucking masks.
So this is a live feed This is a live feed from Fox 2 Detroit. ICE shooting in Minneapolis, live from protests after another shot Wednesday night. So again, let's dive into this, see if we can get any information.
All this gear got to shoot citizens, shoot Americans, people. Oh, they're locking it. They're locking it. Don't pull the wrong gun. Let me see y'all got some real guns. Don't pull the wrong one. Don't pull the wrong one. Fuck y'all, man. Shoot kids. Don't pull the wrong gun. Make sure you got the right. We got my man right here.
I'm gonna dive into this, see if this kind of gives us an update, maybe into what took place. That just kind of seems like the aftermath, almost. Let's see if this kind of gives an update. I know it's a Fox News, but again, let's just see if they kind of give a generic update of what happened. My apologies. Yeah, fucking load, asshole. Why is it always Twitter and Fox News and Newsmax and the fucking shittiest run platforms by Republicans and conservatives that never fucking work right? Just play. That's all I did. Click on you. You're supposed to play. That's it. It's pretty simple. Yep, here we go. Play at some point. Just stop with that circle of death, for crying out loud. All right, I'm out of here. Fox sucks, and we're on to the next one. Let's see here. We'll go to videos, see if there's any quick updates that we can get to. 16 hours ago, 6 days ago, 1 day ago, 9 hours ago, 22 hours ago, 9 hours ago. Let's see here. Let's see. This one right here, live shooting. Play. Why is nothing playing? What the fuck is going on? Yes, play. Do what you do. Do what you meant to do. Let's see here. What we know, the city of Minneapolis is wide aware. The new report comes from immigration customers. Oh, here we go. Oh, for crying out loud. I know. It says it lost connection. Let me stop share. I don't know what the fuck. Stop share. Put it back on screen. My apologies. Sorry, I'm trying to get this live for you guys. I'm just not sure.
And arrested for obstruction.
That's not a new one, though. I'm trying to look for the new one. No, the more recent event. This seems to be all like kind of older ones. 17 minutes ago, protesters condemn ICE tactics. ICE agent who shot killed. California ICE agent. Deadly ICE shooting in Minnesota. Affordability of California. 27 minutes ago. Let's see. I'm gonna go to the chat. What are you guys seeing? What are you guys seeing? Am I crazy? Am I tripping? Did I read this wrong? Let's see here. Another shooting. Northern Minnesota ICE and gun and a shovel. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Is Midas Touch doing like an update on it? Is that what I'm getting at? Let me see here. My apologies. Again, we're trying to catch this on the fly as it's happening, so bear with me. Let's do this one.
I don't want to get shot and have bruises and stuff, but I want to be out here. I don't know if you can hear me through this.
Good on audio.
Did it happen? Like
the patrol officers here seem to be.
All right, let's find another way.
Some gas.
They're chasing them.
People, just because of their skin color, even if we're citizens, they don't care.
So I'm just trying to find out when this might have happened or what's going on. Like I said, I'm just kind of finding out. I'm just kind of finding out live with you guys. So I'm trying to find out any information that I can find. I am watching Status Coup live. Dyslexic Finger says Status Coup. That's what I got on right now, right? If I'm not mistaken. Am I crazy? Let's see here. This is just Midas Touch. So does Status Coup have a separate one? Let me see. Yeah, I thought they usually did it in conjunction. My apologies. Yeah, it is in conjunction, right? This is the same thing. Oh, no, it's not.
All I know is that this fucking federal administration hates anybody who isn't white. And I don't know, I just feel
Let me see. Somebody said in the comments something about CNN. Thank you, Married to a Maggot. CNN shooting involved a federal officer after a shovel ambush. Yeah, that's what Tiff said too. I don't know what the fuck. I'm not seeing anything. I'll refresh this. I'm not, again, I'll let that play in the background so you guys can listen to that, and I'll look for more
get
information.
them out there, take their place. We gotta do this in waves. We gotta protect ourselves. We gotta protect our neighbors. But it's time for white people to step the fuck up. They've been sleeping.
Sorry, I thought the officers were going to move forward. Something was thrown in their direction, so I just want to.
So is it this maybe we're talking about here? Let me share this tab instead. It says federal officer shoots person in the leg after being attacked during Minneapolis arrest. Let's see if this kind of gives us any information. Thank you guys for the updates and the information on where to get this as well. So right off the bat, it does look like they're all at the same scene, right? I don't know if this is going to give any update, but it does look like the same scene that Status Coup is at. This comes 1 week after the killing we're aware of, but that does that give any like written insight? Let's see if this says anything. Reject all, fuck yourself. Let's say as a federal officer, and I'll put this a little bigger on the screen so you guys can see it. Is that a little better? Can you guys see that? All right, cool. Let me get the comment off so you can see it. Federal officer shot a person in the leg in Minneapolis after being attacked with a shovel during an arrest Wednesday. A person familiar with the matter told the Associated Press. The person cautioned the information was still preliminary and the investigation was at its early stages. The person could not discuss the details of the investigation publicly and spoke to AP on condition of anonymity. The shooting took place about 4.5 miles, 7.5 kilometers north of where the immigration fatally shot Renee Good in the head on January 7th as she drove away. City of Minneapolis, we are aware of reports of the shooting, so it doesn't look like there's too much that has come on. So why don't we dive back into the Status Coup live stream and see what they can bring up.
Move forward a bit on the other side. Especially with this happening.
So this just kind of looks like everybody's pushed well down the street from where the shooting took place. Looks like, down here to the left is where everybody's kind of looking at, and well down the street is the police presence. They got it all roped off and blocked off, but this does look like, one of the areas people are congregating in the area. A little over an hour ago. All right, appreciate it. So we are on, again, another instance in which shit happens while we're just live on air. But I appreciate you guys bringing it to my attention. Leron says Lawrence O'Donnell is reporting it and talking with Amy Klobuchar about it. Let's see here. That's probably not on socials just yet. I'm sure it's probably still happening, right? Yeah, I was going to say it's probably going to have to take a minute for it to get on socials. But yeah, we'll be sure to report any information that does come out, obviously, as soon as it comes out. As quick as we can when it comes out. But I'm not sure. I don't know if this actually says the status of the person or anything, right? It says the person was shot in the leg. I don't know if where in the leg, femoral artery, I don't know, thigh, knee, leg, foot. I'm not sure. So it doesn't look like we know much at the time, but just kind of the preliminary reports of an alleged attack with a shovel and a person being shot in the leg by a federal officer. Let's see if this kind of gives us anything. Nope, just another silent look from a helicopter. Looks like we're looking at the scene from a Nokia cell phone from 1996, apparently. The Fox News helicopter hasn't really equipped to 4 or even 1K yet. But this does look like the scene that is several kind of blocks down the street from where people are congregated as we just were watching. So I'm not sure what intersection this is, but it did say it was roughly, 4.5 miles from where Renee, this says North 24th Ave. I'm just looking here on the pole sign, North 24th, and do we got a intersection going the other way? I can get a road sign on. No, I can't see any other signs in the vicinity, just that one. And it's tough to make out. So, all right. So let's see if we can dive on it again. Any information that does come in chat, please keep me updated. I really do much appreciate it. What's that say? Or don't bring a snow shovel to a gunfight. Yeah, that's probably good evidence. I mean, pretty good advice, I should say. Oh, shit. Look at this. You can see shit going on. Ready? What are those sparks down the end of the road? You see that shit down the end of the road there? Let me see if I can turn on the...
To there. I think that's...
Watch down the end of the road.
Fireworks going off very close to there. Zoom. Oh, yeah, that was definitely fireworks going down there.
And again, just an incredible shot. I mean, as normalized as it's become, even just since the death and the murder of Renee Nicole Good. Like, just look at the scene on the street in America, 2026, right? Fucking smoke in the air, gas in the air, pepper spray and pepper balls being shot, people in fucking gas masks, right? Body armor, fireworks going off everywhere, people being shot and arrested all over the fucking place. Not normal, folks. Not fucking normal by any stretch of the imagination, and by no means should we be, have it become normal. All right, so swiftly running out of time, so let's dive into this. And again, chat, if you could, please keep me updated. If we're still on the air and anything does break on that, let me know, and I'll be happy to announce it to everybody else. But again, that's kind of still looks like an ongoing situation, and not much real information to be gained from that just yet. So let's dive into this. And again, this is the first time that I've had the displeasure of kind of having to, I don't want to say educate because that sounds a little bit elitist, and I'm not anywhere near that, but just to kind of critique a little bit of what the I've Had It podcast, both Jen and Pumps have done and said and represented, at least on their show. And again, this is no disrespect, no ill will, and again, not the biggest of deals whatsoever, but I would think somebody, in people of, the prominence that they've had recently, the growth and the numbers that they've seen on views, that somebody would be privy, or somebody would be in their space to be like, hey, just to give you a little bit of background on Cenk Uygur, go watch Hank's video on winners and losers, and you'll learn a lot. But you know what I mean. So again, this is a video by Jen and Pumps on the I've Had It podcast titled "Billionaire Ass Kisses." And again, I'm just going to play a little bit of the intro, and then we'll dive into. We don't even have to watch it. I just want to show you where they bring on Cenk Uygur. And listen to how ridiculous that is when we know about the Peter Thiel connection, the Poly Market Studios, Cenk running for president and taking PAC money while, demonizing and fucking talking about how nobody should take PAC money, but he doesn't want to be at a disadvantage, so he has to do it himself. Like the union breakups at TYT, all of that bullshit. I think that Jen and Pump should have been privy to before he got on the show, and not just his relationship with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, there's a lot more that he should have been called out for, even though they did call him out for that. But check this out. Ready?
Gay triots, they triots, black triots, brown triots, and everybody that's in MAGA or sucks up to billionaires or is just an asshole can do wet pumps.
Everybody that's in MAGA or sucks up to billionaires or is in basically you get Cenk Uygur on as your guest. He's done both sucking up to billionaires and not only that, but right-wing billionaires, right? Because he loves going on and being on with, not so much Charlie Kirk anymore, but like Tim Pool's and Ben Shapiro's, and he'd love to take him out for a beer afterwards. And he loves to get into that, that atmosphere where the billionaire funded money's just fucking flowing around like the women of Capistrano, right? But again, to have this be labeled as billionaire ass kisses and then have Cenk Uygur come on is just more tone deaf than anything that I expected from this. Again, really, honestly. And again, not digging my heels in too deep, and again, this isn't the biggest deal, but it's surprising to a certain extent.
Off. Sucks up to billionaires. That's a great addition. We needed that.
Okay, here's a new thing that I want us to start. Okay. You know how they're always like DEI hire, DEI.
Right? And then I'll just go on to where they bring them on here. And it's just wild to me. Like, listen to how they introduce him. He's clearly not coming on as like a contentious guest. He's clearly not coming on to somebody that has to respond to like the whole Polymarket studio and why he's like promoting gambling sites and shit that aren't even legal in the United States. Why he's taken, buku millions from different companies and, had to steal money from here and there and didn't want people unionizing. None of the questions about that, which again, a wasted opportunity in my eyes. Maybe that's my gripe. That's the whole thing. Maybe we'll boil it down to that. It's just a wasted opportunity. How about that? Right? Does that boil it down a little more clearly and kind of give you a little bit more of why I think I'm a little bit, frustrated at this? It's just a missed opportunity.
Let's welcome to I've Had It, Cenk Uygur.
I've been loving your work lately.
First of all, Cenk looks like he had a rough old night. I don't know if this is an early broadcast or a late broadcast. But again, I've been in the position once or twice, 1,000 times, and I do know what a glassy-eyed hangover looks like. And that's what I feel like I'm looking at here. That is one glassy-eyed hangover, and not just that, ladies and gentlemen, but the voice as well. You also got to put the voice together with the hangover and the glassy eyes and the bloodshot eyes and shit. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a morning. They seem like morning people, both Jen and Pumps. I don't know about Cenk.
I have always been such an admirer of yours and Anna. I think I've been like so obsessed with you guys for years.
Okay, so tell me that you've never watched anything that Cenk Uygur has ever done in the last, 3, 4, 5 years without telling me that you haven't watched anything that Cenk Uygur has done, said, or done, put out in the last 3, 4, or 5 years. Because that's just crazy. At the rate that people have been calling out Cenk and Anna for their right-wing grift, right, for their total collapse on calling, Donald Trump like a fascist and a Nazi, which Cenk was absolutely doing before the fucking, before the election. And then afterwards, it's like, oh, we're going to use this like good rhetoric. And he's putting out rules to the internet on how to get along with the right. Stick it up your keister, suck a Mugat's fucking pound sand, buddy. All right. I don't give a shit. And for the 12th time, how these women weren't like made privy to this information and like the gripe that the left had been calling out for quite some time is mind blowing to me. It really is.
I see your clips and you just have such conviction. And you have this fuck you brand of your conviction.
Yeah, he does have such conviction. Like when he says he's going to go get a beer with Charlie Kirk. Let's see here. Cenk, Charlie Kirk, beer. Let's see if that brings it up. Just real quick. Images. Maybe an image will do it better. Where was he? Yeah, there you go. There's just an image that you'll see. Here he is on stage with Chuck talking about, we have so much in common and I'd rather go after the Democrats and fucking yada, yada, yada. Let's go get a beer afterwards, right? Again, do they know about that? Do they know that happened? Do they just are they ignoring it? Or again, they're faking it. They know that he's got a pretty large base of subscribers. And again, just having him on is another way to keep the growth going. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not speculating, but again, it's a missed opportunity to not call him out as for the shift in the way that they're still representing TYT as this like home of the progressives when it's anything but. Oh, let me put this back on.
Speaks to my soul. You're not trying to package it up. But welcome to I've Had It. What have you had it with, Cenk?
I don't know. I know what I've had it with. It's people giving Cenk a break and giving him credit where no credit is due whatsoever. What has he fucking done recently? What have you done for me lately, TYT? Is a fucking good t-shirt, right? Because it ain't shit. It ain't shit. Again, fucking letting go of Francesca Fiorentini. I mean, these ladies would be so much better off, so much better suited to have a conversation with Francesca Fiorentini or Emma Vigeland or any one of the smart people that have left TYT to go have fantastic careers in other plants, as Lance from the Surfs. I even believe David Dole from the Rational National at some point was affiliated somehow with TYT. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this time would be better well spent, so much better so, at building up and helping Francesca build up her community and build up her platform, and then have so much more in common than try to fluff and butter up fucking Cenk Uygur's nutsack here for no reason whatsoever other than maybe TYT has 6 million subscribers and we can get a chunk of that. I don't know. I just don't know what it is. But again, this whole hypocrisy of billionaire ass kisses. And just to let you know, it's not just me. Check out the comments, right? Check out the comments. First off is my comment, as you can see. This title with this guest is a joke, right? And again, can I zoom this in so you guys can see this? Yeah, we'll zoom in on some of the comments here. Well, maybe not that much. Maybe not that much. Okay, that'll do. That'll do, Donkey. Right. So, just to go on with some of them. Here's one. I wonder if they will address these comments. I hope so we can trust. And again, that's just addressing that a lot of these comments are like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Exploiter, call him as you see him. Conman talking about this. Jenk, really? Jen, I feel like I had a therapy session. Pumps. He's so smart. What parallel universe did this interview take place in? Great question. I know they see these comments unless they don't read them, but hopefully they do and follow up with a video answering the questions that we have. I love what you ladies do, but there's no way I'm watching a video of Cenk that is anything less than highly critical. Right. So just so you know, you get the sentiments, not just me. Right. Government of oligarchs by oligarchs for the oligarchs. That's not one really related to that. Please ask Cenk about his Peter Thiel Polymarket money. Right? Not ever brought up. Cenk and Anna are anti-trans. I can't believe you had them on. Cenk and Anna and TYT have taken a hard right turn over the past few years, sparking most of their POC and trans to sever ties with them. Cenk has also formed paid partnerships with Peter Thiel's Polymarket and some medical insurance scam founded by Vivek Ramaswamy. Cenk and Anna both have openly attacked Emma Vigeland, Sam Cedar, and others for calling out their bigotry. I think someone on your team didn't do their research on TYT. And I think maybe that's the most spot-on comment that we'll get to, right? Somebody failed somewhere to enlighten these people. And I think, people do this all the time when you have a guest on, right? I could see that happening where you're like, oh, and you just fuck with them and be like, yeah, I love your stuff. Like, I watch all of your stuff, just to kind of, I don't know, get the ball rolling, make them feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. If you have them on for a book, right? You'll hear a lot of people, oh yeah, I read the book. It was great. They didn't read the fucking book, right? They're just trying to make them feel comfortable. They're trying to help sell it a little bit. So to that extent, like, I can understand Jen and Pumps being like, oh yeah, I've been so a fan, thinking it's the home of progressives and only hearing like the generic bullshit. But somebody in their team, somebody on their fucking squad should be like, hey, just so you know, there's this whole, aspect of the online media sphere that hates these people that have been calling them out for quite some time. There's a lot of people that have worked with them that don't like them. Here, watch this documentary from Winners and Losers, because that'll give you a lot of good insight and information on what the fuck's been going on. Like, that all should have been done before this took place, so they could formulate their questions, they could formulate the arguments, they could put in the fucking tough questions, just like, they went after him about MTG. Right. And it goes on. I mean, a lot of these are well received too, comments. So that one has 34 likes, and that was only 22 hours ago. 124 likes. Cenk channel is sponsored by Polymarket. Tell me again why you're not a billionaire bootlicker when Peter Thiel signs your paychecks. Case in point, right? Let me throw this back on the screen because my apologies. You don't want to be looking at me. You want to be looking at this. 3218. What the fuck? Cenk is a proud capitalist and he's pretending to be a progressive here. And now he's a populist. Come on, ladies. I love you both, but you missed the mark on this one. I've had it with Cenk. Right? That's a good fucking response. I've had it with Cenk and Anna, and I'm so disappointed that you came out of the gate praising Cenk. He's been bought by Peter Thiel. Ask him why he named the studio Polymarket Studio. Not happy about this interview at all. Got 115 upvotes, 46 upvotes, 61. Here's 243. I used to be a paid subscriber to TYT 2 years ago. I completely cut them off because their centrist shift. And again, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on with a very similar aspect throughout the whole thing. So I will be looking to see if they do a follow-up video, if they do address any of the comments, because again, I'm not a big fan of people that don't take a look at what their viewers are saying and, how they're critiquing them. That's why we love the live chat here. That's why we go over the comments and all the, the people that contribute and have a question at the end of the show. Like, so you got to be in tune with what your audience wants and not just try to steamroll them and just kind of bullshit them. And you can see what they're angry about, what they want to see called out. So we'll see what the response is. But I had to kind of dip my toe into that to some extent. But we might have to save this last video tomorrow. Unfortunately, we are out of time tonight, but let's save this Preston Stewart video about the Russian soldiers disappearing in Ukraine till we could, give it the appropriate time that it deserves. And again, by then we'll have hopefully some more information on the recent shooting and then anything taking place between now and then. But let's get into some thank yous and congratulations to anybody that may have sent a Venmo over, which is just above my head here, please. $1 or $2 is all I ask for. Nothing more than that is required unless you are in the financial position and want to give more than that, then you certainly can, but not required by any stretch of the imagination. So let's just see here if I thank anybody for this evening. So again, Tom and Victoria, thank you, Roxanne. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you to Jean, Raja. Thank you to Karen. Thank you to Damon. And thank you to Jennifer. I really do appreciate you guys from the last few days. And Nancy, I saw you in here earlier saying that your information got hacked or something like that, or your card. I'm so sorry about that. That's terrible. I hope you get that squared away. And without too much trouble. That sucks. There's no worse feeling than that. So again, thank you to all of you who have been contributing on Venmo. There's PayPal as well. So why don't I throw the PayPal up there while I'm thanking people on YouTube, just in case anybody has PayPal. You can do the same thing. You just take a picture with your phone, send you right to the PayPal. Instantaneous is the easiest and quickest way to help the channel. Again, if you want more long-term support, that's the YouTube memberships, the Patreons. That's more of the long-term support for the channel. That's the backbone of the community. So really do appreciate you guys. All right, let's get into thanking some people for their super chats, super stickers, and membership milestones. Greg, what's up, brother? Very good to see you, my man. Let's fucking go. He says, thank you for being here for 20 months and congratulations, dude. Ali Bubble, what's going on? Don't be gaslit. At Brian Decency is not radical. I mean, that's what we were talking about with Bry, though. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Leslie, for the $25 super chat gift from the Sparklers. Oh, that's very nice of you. Very nice of you, Leslie. I very much appreciate that, and I will be saying thank you immediately. So, Leslie, much appreciated for that Venmo. And Allie, I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about with Bry. Like, like each day, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, it's kind of like a fuck it day. And then the next day you wake up and like, okay, well, is there this kind of like mundane other way out? And then it's just like it comes clear really fucking quick to me that that's not going to happen, and at least the change that we want to see enacted will never take place without, again, drastic action and sacrifice. Again, the resistance movements of World War II and other wars since did not happen without sacrifice, without bloodshed, without fucking anguish and pain, right? They didn't think that it was going to be a cakewalk. The civil rights movements, people didn't go into that without thinking, hey, I don't want to be arrested, or I'm afraid of being arrested, or I'm afraid of getting in trouble, or there's not going to be no bloodshed and this is going to be easy. That's just not what fucking happened. And we saw the drastic change and the drastic effect that not only the resistance movements in World War II had, but also the civil rights movements and other movements too that have used the same type of tactics. And it's gotten to that point, not only in this country but around the world. And unfortunately, we have let it got to this point in this country, and now we're at the moment where we have to take action. And I'm sorry, I did everything I possibly could since I got into political commentary to keep us out of this moment, to keep us out of this fucking instance, to keep Donald Trump out of the White House, to keep Republicans out of the controlling the government. I failed in my mission, and now we have to, again, take the mission for what it is now. The first goal was failed, whatever, however many goals you want to put in there, they're failed, but that doesn't mean the mission is over. We're still alive. We're still kicking. As the saying goes, a chip in a fucking chair. As long as I got a chip in a chair, I'm still in the poker game, right? So we're not out yet. And again, the action that we want to see, the change that we want to see, I believe, is only going to come from drastic action. And again, hopefully to the most peaceful extent humanly possible. To keep it as PG as possible on that one. But thank you, Allie. I appreciate you. Thank you, Yvonne, so much for the 20 gifted, dear. Can't thank you enough. You're a goddamn saint. Really, you are. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you so much for the information, as always. And again, the 20 memberships there is just an amazing contribution. Please make sure we're reaching out to Yvonne. Please make sure we're reaching out to Just Saying as well. Thank you so much for the one gifted. Greg is back at it. Gravy Sales finally got their day. But again, we can see directly who they're trying to recruit, Greg, right? And they're going after these specific fucking people with these specific fucking beliefs, with this specific fucking fetish for, again, law enforcement, military, even though they don't have the skills, tactics, athleticism, or the brains to pull off any one of those positions. They've now found their role, right? So appreciate you, Greg. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yvonne. Again, Boss Brian, Jesus, Granny, I haven't heard that saying since I was a child. Brian, I'm 64 now. You brought a tear to my eyes. Thank you for all that you do. You're a champion of many. Remember that. No, you are, Yvonne. Thank you so much. You are the one that keeps me going. You guys in the chat keep me going and keep me motivated and keep me wanting to come back day in and day out and bring you guys the news, the highlights, what I think is important, what I think we should be talking about, and how I think we should be talking about it. So, Yvonne, I can't thank you for watching from across the pond. Thank you so much. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. I really do think so. Oh, I don't like, what is this? There must be a word for that. Like, what's it called when you're good at doing something, but like when you try to do it in the heat of the moment, or like if somebody asks you to do it, you can just never actually accomplish it. But if you're like, sitting in a tub or like in the shower, like I could be fucking Robin Thicke. I could, it doesn't matter. But as soon as you try to do it on cue, it just never fucking works. Never fucking works. But I appreciate you, Yvonne. Please don't excommunicate me because of it. Oh, let's go. Bro, I've been celibate for 30 years. No stress yet. Men are my best friends. It's about respect both ways. Well, I don't know if that's, congratulations or commiserations, but either way, we appreciate you for being here, Yvonne. Thank you so much. And thank you for your contributions. Again, you are a firecracker. You are a fucking firecracker. Thank you, Miles, for for being here for a year. Congratulations, brother. A member for 12 months. That's a big fucking show of support. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Brian is awesome. I disagree, but I do think Miles is awesome, and so is the rest of the chat. But I don't know about that Brian character. He's a little flaky. He's a little flaky, but I do appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Miles. Thank you, SFL. Women are nice, so are men. So F off, STD brain. Pearly Gates. Yep, I got what you're saying. Sometimes it takes me a second to go back into the show and where the comment may have come in, but I totally agree. Definitely, that was one of the weirder moments too that I've ever seen on a debate stage. Going along with it, so appreciate the $7 super chat. Much appreciated. Hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here, Greg. Again with the $2. Timu Laura Prep. I'm getting waxed. Oh my god! It just was wild moment. A lot of people talking about that too. So people like I was surprised to even see speaking about it. Well, like, all right, you got to see this, and I was like, oh shit. Bingo, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Very much appreciated, my friend. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your contributions. Married to a Maggot says CNN shooting involved a federal officer after a shovel ambush. Again, I'm not sure if any new information. We'll be sure to kind of dive into that tomorrow. Again, whatever comes out between now and then. So Married to a Maggot, appreciate you for keeping me up to date and informed. Thank you for the super chat as well. Nola Carnes, thank you so much. Glad to be here, Boston Brian. So glad to have you here, Nola. Very much appreciated. Thank you for the $5 super sticker. Love it. Can't thank you enough. Very much appreciated. So wonderful to have you here. And then to round it out today, JD with the fucking swear jar. Getting tossed in there. I appreciate you, JD. Thank you for the super sticker. Can't thank you guys enough. I'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday show. Don't forget, anybody signed up at the VIP level on patreon.com/Boston Brian will get access to the VIP Zoom tomorrow night. So watch out for the link. That's the word I'm looking for. The link to go out tomorrow morning to give you guys plenty of time to kind of find it, see if it works, test it out, and that sort of stuff. So again, my apologies for missing the last one, but again, anybody that signs up before that link goes out will get access to the Zoom. And again, any Zoom is just kind of us shooting the shit here at Blunt Politics. Lets you put a couple of faces to the screen names that you see in the chat all the time. We'll talk about pets, weather, sports, dogs, whatever you guys want to talk about. It doesn't necessarily have to be politics or anything related to it. But again, just a good way to kind of get acquainted with other people in the chat. So again, you can sign up at any one of the several levels there on Patreon, or you can sign up here at for a membership at youtube.com/Boston Brian. Please go to that. I would very much appreciate it. Again, Venmo, PayPal up in the corner. Very much appreciated, very much needed. So again, support your independent creators, whether that's me or somebody else. If they bring you more bang for their buck, more value, then please go support them. I would very much implore you to do so, and I would congratulate you for doing it. So thank you to the mods. Thank you to the chat. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Stay proud, stay loud, stay aggressive, stay pissed off, right? But stay fucking safe out there. Make sure you get your head on a swivel. Stay safe. Maintain your surroundings, maintain your exits, go in a group, go with multiple people if you have to, if you're heading out to the streets, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. So stay safe, and we'll bring you some more news, some reporting, and more propaganda, no less, than from the mainstream media tomorrow to try to break it down. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you so much for all of the contributions. Can't thank you enough. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's get out of here. Go have some din-din. Let's go have some din-din. I appreciate you guys. Later. Wait, can I even get out of here? No, I can't. Yes, I can. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you, Steve-O. Thank you so much for the $3 super sticker, dude. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your contributions. Yeah, Laurie. Thank you, Laurie. Mod love for sure. Mod love for sure. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, Instagram. Please hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe. Coffee, milk, bud. Thank you. Trying to get a new specialized intro done. How does that work? I'm not sure. Let's see.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
God bless the United States.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart. It's an incredible thing.
A new form of vicious violation to our country.
This week it was reported that an illegal and you just look at this, what's happening. Eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got to know it very well. I've become an expert on guns.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I hope you have luck with your, your credit problem or your identity problem. It's terrible. Hope you have good luck with that. Thank you, Nancy. Congratulations on being here tonight. Appreciate it. I think I was. Thank you, Yvonne. Let's go. Go.
For minors, do we love minors? I love minors. That China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. For the rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands.
Hey, you got a little chubby going there.
He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small.
Always calling me Little Marco. And I'll admit, the guy, he's taller than me. He's like 6'2", which is why I don't understand why his hands are the size of someone who's 5'2".
I can just tell you that a con artist is about to take over the Republican Party and the conservative movement, and we have to put a stop to it.
Or go fuck yourself. We've endorsed JP, right? J.D. Mandel, and he's doing great. Army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. Obama. Water coming here is dead. When you ran out the healthy arms, you ran out of really healthy. They had great arms, but they ran out. It's called sports. It's called baseball in particular, and pitchers, I guess you could say, in really particular.
Fucking Nazis.
Gettysburg, what an unbelievable
battle that was, the Battle of Gettysburg. What an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so...
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Wrong. Vagina. Venezuela. Did you just see Maduro?
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful love. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
Man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
Yesterday's a hard word for me.
The big